curveballs, the shorter one and the bigger one. So, you know, he's got to get back to being that guy that goes after the hitters with his stuff. Don't try to just pick the corners all the time.
Loney generally puts the ball in play. Here's a swing and a fly ball, shallow center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Jackson will field it on a hop and thought about throwing to third, but Zobrist was well on his way there. He holds on. Just stuck his bat out, popped it into center field. Soft line drive, and the Rays have runners at the corners. Scoreless game, bottom of the first.
Well, off balance, breaking ball, just served it.
And exactly what we were talking about, Jim. 7 pitches to get the first 2 batters. 11 pitches now, and he still has to get that third out.
Well, it's just hard to figure out because, you know, he had a session. He was telling me about it, about his mechanics, and he felt that was going to make the difference. Now, that was while we were still home. So, you know, by the time you get here, maybe, you know, the thinking and all that stuff, maybe he doesn't feel as comfortable trying that. It's just a little bit of thing with his mechanics.
There's a fastball just outside. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Generally, though, when he has to gear it up in the first inning, that's usually not a good sign. Will Myers at the plate.
Pretty impressive kid right here.
Home run in the game last night off to a terrific start in his major league career. There's a fastball high and outside, and it's now 2-0 on Myers, hitting .289 in his 45 major league at-bats. He is here to stay. Rays fans been just waiting to see this young man. He is not disappointed in his first 11 major league games.
I watched him take batting practice. Even though it's impressive.
Here's the 2-0. Slider low.
Boy.
Just the kind of inning Jim Leland has been kind of, pinpointing for most of the year for Justin after the terrific start. The 2 quick outs and then a lot of pitches to get that final out. 21 pitches now in the first inning for Justin Verlander.
Careful here.
The 3-0 to Myers. Swing and a foul out of play. Fastball centered the plate. Myers had a good cut, but it's now 3-1.
Well, that's good live action. When he was setting on the fastball, 3-0, and he fouled it back, that's a good sign for Justin.
Joyce grounded out. Jennings grounded out. Zobrist line drive single on a 3-2 pitch. Loney just stuck the bat out and dropped a soft single into center field on a 2-2 pitch. Now the 3-1 pitch to Myers. Swing and a miss, and it's now 3-2.
That was a little tardy, that swing.
Just in 95-96 with the fastball here in the first inning, which I guess is a good sign, Jim. But usually when he has to crank it up early, that's in the end not a good sign for Justin.
And if he can get out of this inning, go back to the the other way and save some of that gas in that tank.
So one thing you notice, he can get it up to 95 to 97, but he doesn't sustain it like he used to in past years this year. He sets the 3-2. Swinging a high fly ball, shallow right center. Kelly coming in. He's under it and makes the catch. Long first inning comes to an end for Justin Verlander. He strands a pair of runners at the corners. After 1 in St. Petersburg, no score. Tigers and Rays on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Today, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Second inning, no score. Both pitchers needed a lot of pitches to get to the first inning, and both teams had 2 on with 2 outs. Tigers with a couple of walks, the Rays with a couple of hits, neither team scoring a run. 26 pitches for Archer to get through the first. Johnny Peralta swings and fouls the first pitch back here in the second of a scoreless game. Peralta, Kelly, and Infante against this young right-hander. But boy, Jim, to see Justin throw, I think it was 24 pitches by the end of that inning. That was a surprise, and what we've seen a lot of this year.
Yep, too much.
After he got the first 2 easy outs, Johnny Peralta takes a pitch low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Both pitchers came into this game averaging just under 18 pitches in a typical inning. Not surprised with a rookie, but that's a big jump in pitches in a typical inning for Justin Verlander from last year. There's a strike to make it 1-2.
Well, that slider is sharp. Very late break, and a little down to it, but boy, 87, 88, that's strong for a slider.
Right-handed batter gets a hit in this game, you'll be impressed.
Yes, sir. Especially if it's a slider.
Here's the 1-2, swinging a pop-up. Foul first base side and out of play. And that was a slider that hung a little bit for Peralta, but he fouled it out of play.
Isn't it interesting? The kid last night, now another kid here filling in. But the future, if these kids.
They've got some arms.
I mean, it is. It's something. It's, well, the feel for pitching isn't quite there yet for both of them, but a lot to work with.
Rays have started rookies in 6 of their last 12 games. Here's the 1-2 to Peralta, swinging a shattered bat, ground ball to third. Barrel of the bat went out to short. Johnson fields the ground ball, fires over to first to get Peralta with ease. 2 ground ball outs, 2 strikeouts for Archer so far, and that brings up Don Kelly.
Well, he continues to throw the way he's throwing with that little effort. There's just not much effort in his drive to the plate and his body motion at all. And that besides being a lot of velocity and sharpness, that also is deceives the hitter a little bit. So it might say 95 up in the gun, but to the hitter it looks like 96, 97.
Now Kelly bats, and he takes a fastball strike. Don's been better against lefties than righties so far this year, 6 for 19 against lefties. But he started to pick it up at the plate overall after the very slow start and limited at-bats. Here's the strike 1 pitch to Kelly. Strike 2, pours another fastball in at 95. Don 9 for his last 20 to lift his average up to 229.
I'd like to see him throw another one knee-high and see what Donnie can do with it.
He's hit that pitch with great consistency this year, hasn't he?
He sure has.
Here's the 0-2. Swinging a soft ground ball to short. Big hop for Yunel Escobar right behind second base. Guns it over to first to get Kelly. 2 up and 2 down. Again, not a ton of ground balls against Archer, but so far the 3 balls put in play for outs have all been easy ground balls. Well, 2 easy ones and then the Cabrera one, which was more of a shot to third base.
Self-defense, man.
Two outs, scoreless game, second inning. That brings up Omar Infante. Omar takes fastball low and outside.
We'll say this, when he misses, he hasn't missed by a lot. He's all around that plate.
6'3" righty, works first base side of the rubber, wearing the high socks with the stripes on the socks. That's the old style look. Here's a 1-0 pitch, low and outside.
Just to let everybody know there really are stirrups and stripes on socks.
I can't remember the last time I saw a player with stripes on the socks.
Yeah, I mean, look at the rest of the guys.
With the stirrups.
There's no socks. The other guys, their pants are
all the way down to their ankles
on the field.
Takes a quick step back with the left foot into his motion. Delivers. There's a line drive to left field coming in, reaching down, and can't get it as Joyce trickles behind him. Infante's heading to second, and he'll reach with a double. Joyce tried to make the shoestring catch and couldn't. And Omar took advantage of the miss by getting down to second base.
Well, I think he made a little hesitation before he started to dive for it, and that made the difference. If he'd gone after it right away, he makes the catch. But he made a little hesitation, and then when he went for it, no chance. And he's lucky the ball didn't end up at the wall.
One little stutter step, and I don't know how that ball didn't go farther away. It only trickled about 10 feet away from him.
That's not right. It should have gone to the wall.
Omar's on third if it goes to the wall.
Yeah.
Brian Pena bats, no score, second inning. Escobar jumps in behind Infante, now backs up. Brian Pena takes a strike on the outside corner, hitting .373 from the left side this year. .299 overall. He's catching the majority of games right now.
He's doing a good job.
Ryan Holiday, the backup. Alex Avila still rehabbing at Toledo. Although really he is hitting at Toledo right now. The strike 1 pitch, swinging a ground ball in a high chop, deep third, jumping up to field. It almost dropped it. Johnson has it, guns it across the diamond to Loney to get Pena.
Well, that's a Longoria play there.
Sure was. Pena is out, and so are the Tigers. Another ground ball out against Archer. Tigers straight a man at second. We go to the bottom of the second inning. No score. Tigers and Rays at Tropicana Field. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. By Bell Tire, you can go to belltire.com and enter to win the Bell Tire Blast Zone contest played every home game. No score, bottom of the second inning. Tigers got a hit in the top half of this inning. Infante's double with 2 outs. He was stranded at second. 6, 7, 8 hitters, Scott, Escobar, and Molina against Justin Verlander. Justin needed 24 pitches to get through the first inning. That has been an issue for him. Not just the first inning, but by the end of the third inning. Oftentimes his pitch count is at 60 to 70. and it has shortened a number of his starts this year. First pitch here is hit in the air to left field. Not deep. Dirks goes back one step, stops and makes the catch. One pitch, one out.
Well, what a gift that was. That swing was a gift to Justin.
Batting practice swing and
wow.
Not much behind it.
No, I mean, that was a protect the plate swing on the first pitch.
Well, again, this is where Justin has been so good, and we just haven't seen it as often, have we, Jim? The ability, when he knows his pitch count is climbing, not necessarily just in the second inning, but it used to be third, fourth, or fifth inning. Okay, I know my pitch count is high. Now he cruises through 3 or 4 innings with maybe 40 pitches, and he gets back on track.
Well, he was special. I mean, it was like Cabrera as a hitter. I mean, he as a pitcher could do anything that he needed to do.
Escobar at the plate, and there's a fastball high and outside.
I mean, you look at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. I don't think I remember seeing that when he was at his best. 92, maybe never. No, I don't think 90 at all.
Here's the 1-0, swinging a foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. There are seeds in there that you would think that, again, you're trying to look at, can this thing get turned around? He is still strong deep into games. He doesn't get hit with extra base power deeper into games. The batting average is up a little bit as the game goes on, but mainly because I think of some bad luck. There's a little pop fly into left center, and that's going to drop.
Wow.
Boy, he just got severely jammed. And he popped it into shallow left center.
That bat should be broken, but I guess it's not. All right, gang, we'll tell you about a new ticket operation or a new chance for you. 8 games your choice for $26. A game with the new Tigers Summer 8-Pack. That's what it's called, 313-471-2255, or visit Tigers.com/summer8. I mean, that bat's got to be broken.
That's amazing that dropped in.
There was no sound.
None. And this has been the problem part of the order for Justin Verlander. That's another reason I think, Jim, this can turn around. He's going to be better against righties. Certainly the track record says so. And the bottom 3 hitters are hitting .282 against him. There's a flip over to first.
That doesn't make any sense.
With some power, and they've hit .215 with absolutely no power for the last several years running. He's buried this bottom part of the order, as usually good pitchers do.
Right. And then you pick out a couple guys that you cannot let beat you, and then bury the other guys.
Number 7 hitter Escobar just blooped one, and that was just bad luck. There's a flip over to first to drive Escobar back. Not a big base stealing threat. Rays love to run under Joe Madden, but they really don't have that big base stealing threat as Molina fouls one back to the screen.
Well, Molina's one thing about love to have a ground ball right now in the infield.
Molina's hitting .263. It's a pretty weak .263 for Molina. No power, doesn't draw many walks at all. There's another flip over to first.
I think he's 36 or 37, if I remember right.
He's getting into his late 30s.
But, can do the job
still
behind
valued.
the plate. Yep, and call the game, the right way.
Just turned 38 years old, this native of Mayaman in Puerto Rico. The strike one. There goes Escobar, swinging a slicing drive foul down the first base line into the front row of the seats by the Tigers bullpen, the Rays bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes on Molina.
Well, this is where Justin would bury guys, especially, again, like you said, in the bottom of the lineup. Overmatch them.
2 strike counts. He has also not been as effective this year. That's when he was just devastating. Not just last year, but the last 3 years in 2 strike counts. Here's the 0-2. Low and outside, 1-2 on Molina. No score. We're in the second inning. Scott made an out on the first pitch. Escobar hit a 1-1 blooper into center field. And now it's 1-2 on Jose Molina. Justin doesn't get a lot of ground ball double plays turned behind him. A lot of balls hit in the air against Justin. Another throw to first. Back with a head first slide is Escobar. It is still the same move, isn't it, Jim?
Yep.
Something they've talked about with Justin for a long time. He never comes set and then goes over. He throws over as he's getting ready to get set.
And believe me, everybody is filled in about that when Justin pitches.
It allows him to get that little extra jump.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Over at first base. I thought Escobar had a good jump when he went on the foul ball. There's a swing and a miss. He just waved at a breaking ball down and away.
Yeah, that had that good bite to it. You know, the other thing, and Justin and I were talking about it during his break times. He said, Jim, you used to say I had live my action my fastball 92 to 102. He said, I didn't never win 102. And I said, okay, pick, you went 101. But even you had more life with that low 90s fastball than I've seen lately. And I think that's the problem also.
You always said he could pitch in the low 90s, and he did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, last couple of years. Another throw over to first. That one bounced, picked up by Prince Fielder.
But it's that life at the plate, Dan, that just doesn't have that.
Let's pause right now for station identification. This is the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Man on 2 outs. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second inning. Another throw to first to drive Escobar back. Again, 2 steals and 3 attempts for Escobar. But Justin also knows that he's been easier to run on this year, and he wants to cut that off a little bit. The Rays do like to run. If they think a pitcher is slow to the plate or predictable, they will run. There's a swing and a miss. Kelly Johnson got off to a terrific start. He was one of the reasons the Rays offense was top 2 offense for the first part of this season, because through 44 games he was hitting .300 with 10 home runs.
Yeah, you saw that, and then you look lately and off Justin 0 for 11 last time.
Not the guy he wanted to face as a swing and a line drive caught by Infante. 3 quick steps to his left, running onto the outfield turf.
It was a changeup. It was a bullet.
Johnson hit it hard, and it's out number 3. We played 2 in St. Petersburg. No score. Tigers and Rays on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Austin Jackson leads off third inning. Tigers and Rays are scoreless. Lots of pitches, lots of traffic on the base paths, but no runs through the first 2 innings. Austin Jackson takes a strike on the outside corner. Jackson, Dirks, and Cabrera to face Archer. Needed 26 pitches to get to the first inning, and then a much more efficient second inning for Archer, needing just 13 pitches. Jackson swings. It's a fly ball to right field. Deep going back. Myers onto the track, looking up, and that ball is gone. A home run. Just carried the wall in right. Number 4 for Austin Jackson gives the Tigers a 1-0 lead in the third.
Fastball away. I'll tell you, that's a terrific piece of hitting. Fastball away, didn't try to pull it. As Dan said, just made it over, but that means it's a home run. Terrific hitting. Last couple games, not as good as he was in the other games since coming off the disabled list, but I'm going to tell you what, this young man is a player. Just love to see him play and swing the bat and chase him down the outfield. Take a home run. They party pop for over 100 years.
He'd gone hitless his last 2 games. He'd been on 3 times, but hitless the last 2 games after a 10-game hitting streak. That's the thing. He's been on every game since his return from the disabled list, with a walk, being hit by a pitch, or with a hit. Dirks takes a strike.
First home run this young man has given up. Well, not a lot of at-bats, but Austin broke the ice.
There's a swing and a foul over by the Tigers dugout by a right-handed batter. Quickly 0-2 on Dirks. He was ahead 3-1 in his first at-bat, and then took 2 called strikes and struck out. The strike 2, swinging a soft ground ball up the middle, charging, backhanding Zobrist, turns, throws, and he got him. Good play.
Boy, he gets sawed off. My goodness. Bat speed. I really think, now there's a perfect case, Dan, of getting himself out. Body up in front, the bat late. Jammed himself.
And boy, Jim, it looked like that bat was starting to heat up.
It did. Yeah, it sure did.
Now he's 1 for his last 10, but it's not just the 1 for 10. It's, well, I mean, it hasn't been much hard contact in those 1 for 10.
When you see a batter get themselves out, that's not good.
1-0 Tigers. That brings up Cabrera. He swings and hits a ground ball wide of third and wide of short, right in between Johnson and Escobar.
Beautiful.
Johnson dove for it. Escobar lunged for it, and the ball got by both into left field for a base hit.
He doesn't get many hits like that.
No,
so
he sure doesn't.
That's why he's a big smile on his face. He plays this game like a young kid. Boy, oh boy. Exuberation all over the place. Is that a word? All right, make it up.
Exuberance.
Yeah, exuberation. I like that. The big man.
That brings up Prince Fielder. Well, a lot of ground ball outs. That wasn't necessarily the track record for Archer, but all the outs so far have been either strikeouts or ground ball outs. There's a fly ball to center field. This one's deep. Going back, Jennings tracking it, though, and he'll make the catch, running deep into the deepest part of center field, where the left field wall meets the center field wall to haul it in. Cabrera retreats to first. Good swing for Fielder, but it's out number 2.
And I think that's kind of the dying area of this ballpark.
Jim, I don't think we've ever seen a ball go out there.
Not there.
It definitely dies in that part of this ballpark.
I mean, Jennings started out like he might have to, go up against the wall or something. He didn't get to the warning track.
It's like in Oakland sometimes. It's not especially deep to center field, but
right.
at night, sometimes the ball goes to center field in Oakland and just dies.
Yeah, the dampness is just pitchers love to pitch there at nighttime.
That brings up Victor Martinez. Austin Jackson with home run power. Opposite field home run. I think 2 of his 4 now this year have gone opposite field for Austin.
That's good hitting.
Now Martinez takes a pitch a little bit low. Struck out his first time up, swinging against this hard-throwing righty. Young man who came up through the minor leagues, averaging a strikeout an inning, and also averaging 5 walks per 9 innings in the minor leagues. Slight improvement since coming to Tampa in their minor leagues. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike on the inside corner. Originally drafted by the Indians 7 years ago out of high school in North Carolina.
Indians
traded to the Cubs for Mark DeRosa, and then traded to the Rays in the Matt Garza deal. So this good young arm has already been traded twice.
That's hard to believe. Why? Who wouldn't want to keep him?
A pitch coach wouldn't say, I can work with this.
Really?
Here's the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Cabrera will stop at second as Jennings got to that ball quickly. A sharp single for Victor Martinez. Tigers now with a couple of men on for Johnny Peralta.
Well, you hit the ball on the surface here, and it just scoots.
The field, turf field, is the normal artificial turf surface now. This field turf has always looked a little bit, even when it was new, it looked like it was, you look at it right now, it doesn't look like it's in great shape, but you're down on the field, and it seems like it's in pretty good shape.
Especially the infield, I think, is kind of soft, too. It's not as hard as it used to be, even in Toronto also. There were times in Toronto, if you had a 4-game series, you had to give guys a game off, the older guys.
Yeah. They're still aware of it, aren't they, Jim?
Oh, boy. No question
even
about
on the
it.
field turf, that
Absolutely.
You're aware that you want to give guys like Torrey Hunter a day off if you can.
Absolutely.
Now Johnny Peralta swings and foul tips it to the glove of Molina. There aren't many artificial surfaces left. Toronto has just the dirt cutouts around the bases.
I think this is the best.
This is
inside.
much better.
Yeah.
I agree. No reason you can't have a full dirt infield.
Absolutely. I think they have football that plays there,
Yep.
so maybe that's part of it.
I think that's absolutely right. The Argos.
The old Argos.
The strike one. Check swing and a pitch in the dirt. Went too far. Did not make contact, and the ball got away from Molina. So the runners advanced to second and third, but Johnny Peralta's in an 0-2 hole against Chris Archer.
Now, I could be wrong on this. We've only seen him a couple innings, but I really think his type of breaking ball, he can get away with it where it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's unusual. That means it's really late with the action.
Well, wild pitch and a strike speaks to that.
It sure does, yes.
And Johnny Peralta hasn't chased a lot out of the strike zone this year.
No, that's right. He's an all-star shortstop.
2 singles and a wild pitch. 2 in scoring position for Peralta. The 0-2. Whoa, high and tight. He buzzed him at the letters and sends Peralta spinning out of that right-handed batter's box at 95 miles an hour.
0-2, you don't like that at all. That high, you like if it's down around the knees or something. But, boy, not up there. I'm sure he didn't try to throw it up there. I wouldn't think so.
Austin Jackson's 4th home run has given the Tigers a 1-0 lead in the third. Peralta can add 2 of the base hit. Here's the 1-2. Swinging line drive, base hit into left center. Cabrera to score. Martinez coming home. Joyce up with the ball. Throw to the plate will be cut off on the infield. 2-run single for Johnny Peralta on a 1-2 pitch. And the Tigers take a 3-0 lead in the third.
Well, he served that. He's getting a little payback for a couple of the hits by the Rays tonight. That was just a little serve shot into an area there nobody was, and 2 out hitting, nothing better than that. I mean, that's picking up your teammates big time. That makes a heck of a lot of difference.
It was the breaking ball, and it just didn't do as much as some of the other ones did. Heck of a piece of hitting. I'll bet he hasn't given up many 2-strike hits this year.
Not with the slider, especially.
They broke it down in the notes, didn't they?
I said, I said, I don't understand it. Do we have enough time to explain all that?
The upshot was he hasn't given up many hits on his slider.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that before. I mean, that's
it was quite a breakdown.
Somebody's really studying his arsenal and pitches.
Don Kelly bats, and he takes a pitch low. A fastball missed the mark. 1-1. Kelly grounded out to short on an 0-2 pitch. Johnson at third. Longoria expected to miss the last 2 games of this series. Huge blow for the Rays. Big break for the Tigers. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball softly to second base. Knee-high bounce for Zobrist. An easy flip to Loney at first. Kelly is out, but the Tigers strike for 3 runs here in the third. Jackson's home run, the 2-run single from Peralta. We go to the bottom of the third inning in St. Petersburg. 3-0 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. 3-0 Tigers. You go to the bottom of the third inning. Third inning brought to you by Sunoco and the Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win. Today's game brought to you in part by ABC Warehouse, the official electronics provider of the Detroit Tigers radio network. Boy, that was a big 2-out hit from Johnny Peralta.
I love it. Guy made a good pitch, put it in play, and make him pay, especially if that ball was high and tight. That's a little payback.
Now Matt Joyce leads off for the Rays. He swings and fouls it right back our way.
Wow.
Had a little sizzle on it.
I was ready to catch it, though, Dan. You know that.
You were ready to get the heck out of the way.
Exactly right. I was going to be gone. I don't want to be hurt anymore, in all honesty.
Street smarts.
Thank you, Dan.
Here's the strike one to Joyce, swinging a fly ball, right field deep. But Kelly will go back, track it, and make the catch running onto the warning track. Good swing, but it's the first out here in the third. Change up, and again, off-balance swing, and it's name of the game. That's the easy out early in the count with the changeup. That's exactly what you're looking for, isn't it? Yep. He had a relatively quick second inning after the long first inning. And these are the little signs that you look for as Justin tries to get back to, being Justin, the guy that we've seen for the last several years, as a drive to the deepest part of right center field. And that will split Jackson and Kelly all the way to the wall off the bat of Jennings. He's got wheels, rounding second, heading to third, and he will make it. They threw it anyway, but he was in with a slide easily. A one-out triple here in the third. Well, from our vantage point, we can tell right away that's going to be a triple because, it was a real gapper smoke. Austin couldn't get close to it. And with Jennings running, he can motor, and that's an easy triple right there. Wow. You love watching a guy like that run. I always think of Austin Jackson and that lean that Austin Jackson gets running the bases. I don't think there's anybody better at running the bases when he gets going than Austin. A lot of fans, some play baseball, a lot of them did. One of the hardest things to do is really run the bases. It's not as easy as you think. Cutting the corners as you round the bases. Here's a ground ball to second base. The infield was back, and Jennings will score on the bounce out off the bat of Zobrist. It's out number 2. It scores a run, and it's now a 3-1 game here in the third. That's a professional at bat right there. Okay, Dan, you and I have been talking about the White Sox. They've had a lot of fun lately, but goodness. They're going to be in Motown when we get off the road trip the 9th and 10th, and you can take advantage of the Summer Fun Pack. Get a ticket, food voucher, and Tigers T-shirt for $35. Visit Tigers.com/fun to order. I can't wait to see our pals with the White Sox. Oh, baby. Longest doubleheader in Major League history that did not go into extra innings was last night. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And the Indians won both games. They won Game 2 by scoring 4 runs in the 9th. To win by a run, they were down 3. Can't make it up. James Loney takes a pitch outside. Can't make that up. The White Sox hadn't been able to score runs all year. They score 18 runs in the 2 games. And they cannot win either game. There's a swing and a drive to right field. Hit hard, but Kelly comes over, reaches up, and makes the catch. Whoa, Loney hit it right on the screws. Yeah, they've hit a couple balls hard this inning. And it's out number 3. Rays get a run. Quick inning overall for Justin Verlander. Triple and a bounce out produced the run. We go to the 4th inning. 3-1 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers radio network. Find America Bank is the leading bank for business. Learn more at Comerica.com/business. Fourth inning, 3-1 Tigers over the Rays. Our fourth inning is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. Call 1-800-CALL-SAM. Omar Infante leads off for the Tigers in the fourth inning. The first pitch from Chris Archer is high and tight. 8-9-1 hitters, Infante, Pena, Jackson against Archer. Pitch count at 56 for Archer starting this inning. Next pitch to Omar is a strike for the fastball in.
That release, Dan, it looks like it's a batting practice pitch. Boy, it jumps out of his hand.
2 strikeouts in the first inning, none since. All the outs except for one fly ball have been ground ball outs outside of the 2 strikeouts. 6'3" righty from the first base side of the rubber. The 1-1 high and tight. He has Infante spinning out of the way. Almost hit Peralta last inning on an 0-2, and on the very next pitch, Peralta dropped a single into left center to score 2 runs.
You know, I don't. He's not trying to hit anybody, but I think in situations like this, we've seen 3 of them now that maybe one of their guys should be brushed back. Not high, but low.
Because it does get irritating.
It is. It's irritating. You got to show your guys that you're in this together.
Backup breaking ball is off the plate inside. It's just a reminder that if you don't have command, you keep pitching inside, and there will be a little payback.
Well, there's got to be. Absolutely. Has to be.
Now the 3-1. Oh, short slider for a strike. Heck of a pitch. 3-2.
That was a get-me-over slider.
We're talking about Cleveland and Chicago. Cleveland scored runs late today to win again over the White Sox.
Oh, man.
After the long nightmare for Chicago yesterday, Omar swings at an off-speed pitch, pops it up, shallow right center. Jennings comes over and makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. The Cleveland Indians ended up scoring 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th.
Oh.
Addison Reed couldn't close it out last night. And today it was Crane, who's their most dependable reliever this year.
Boy, they're
gave up a big run late.
Their pen has, the whole team has had problems, let's face it.
4-3, Cleveland wins it. So at the moment, the Indians are a game and a half behind the Tigers. Pena takes a strike on the inside corner, and the White Sox have fallen 14 games below the 500 mark.
Can't wait to see
This
them.
might be the series that just does them in.
Yeah,
I mean, they're talking about, are they going to be buyers or sellers?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious is
really
right. Here's the strike 1 to Pena. There's a strike to make it 0-2. 4-3, Cleveland wins it. Indians starting to play some pretty good ball. Boy, their wins yesterday were just crazy. Down 5-0 in Game 1, won 19-10. Down 3 runs in the 9th, win 8-7, or was it 9-8 in the nightcap? There's a pitch up and in.
Well, that takes a lot out of
9-8
it for both teams, and I'm sure everybody on both rosters got to play, without much doubt.
3-1 our score here. We're in the 4th inning. Tigers trying to make it 2 straight over the Rays. Pena swings and fouls it to the screen. Other scores on the General RV scoreboard from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. Minnesota beat KC 6-2. Hosmer had the big night for KC. We're kind of tracking him because it's still a bat that, KC needs to heat up, and he had a big night last night.
Home run?
Home run, 3 RBIs, 2 for 3 today. But Minnesota wins at 6-2. 1-2 pitch is hit softly to second base. Zobrist charged, fields the little in-between hop. Easy flip to Loney at first. 2 outs. Base is empty. Miami shutting out San Diego in the 4th inning. That's Jacob Turner on the mound for Miami. 6-0 lead over San Diego. Other finals, Atlanta beat Arizona 11-5. St. Louis over Oakland 7-1. Complete game for Adam Wainwright, who's now 11-5.
I saw a couple pitches that he threw. He has some action on that fastball. That's exciting.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
11-5 with a 2.22 ERA.
I don't care what league you're in. That's without the DH, that's still good.
Toronto beat Boston at Fenway 6-2.
I was hoping Toronto ran out of gas.
Bullpen couldn't hold a 2-2 tie late. Zawa Breslow giving up runs. Austin Jackson hit a home run his last time up, walked in his first at-bat, and he takes a strike here.
Well,
Angels won last night over Houston, won again today 7-2.
Yeah, right. They got to be thrilled.
And the defending world champs are struggling. Colorado beat them 2-1. The San Francisco Giants are 38-42. There's a strike to make it 0-2 on Jackson.
Boy, 96, I'm telling you, it doesn't even look like he's sweating.
It doesn't.
That is one of the easiest 96s I have ever seen. Effortless. It seems that way, but the mechanics and release point are good.
Now the windup in the 0-2, again high and tight. This one at 98. That's the third time in the last 5 batters.
Shouldn't have to tell your pitcher.
Home run for Austin was his 4th of the year. What a force he has been since his return to this leadoff spot. Here's the 1-2. Slider low and away. I'm not sure where that pitch was.
I'm not either, but
it's a heck of a pitch.
Heck of a call by home plate umpire, let's face it.
Austin took it with confidence, or else he just couldn't pull the trigger on that sharp slider.
I think the second one is right.
Waiting on the 2-2, Molina setting up away. The pitch, swinging a foul out of play. Another slider. He fouled it off well back. First base side, 63 plate appearances since his return from the disabled list, and Austin's been on in more than half of them, 32.
Well rested. That's one of the things that will help Austin Jackson because he usually plays every game.
Waiting on the 2-2 again. On the way. Swing and a miss. Swung right through a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Inner half of the plate, too. Tied him up.
Third strikeout for Archer. Tigers go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Tigers on top of the Rays 3-1 at Tropicana Field. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. In part by U.S. Park, the official parking service of the Detroit Tigers radio network. Three-1 Tigers. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Justin Verlander, long first inning, 2 quick innings since. Gave up a run last inning on a triple bounce-out combination. But he only needed 6 pitches, facing 4 batters last inning. And Will Myers takes a strike on the outside corner to start the 4th. Time called at home plate.
And Will did it right. He asked for timeout. KG rookie.
Waiting on the strike 1. Big curveball misses high and tight. I think when we see that pitch, Jim, starting to drop with more consistency, that'll be another sign that Justin might be getting back to where he wants to be.
It's all about arm speed for that. And, that tells you a little bit about the velocity also, the arm speed, the sharpness on a breaking ball.
Nobody got more rotation on a curveball than Justin Verlander.
That's right.
Here's a 1-1 swing and a miss. Fastball by the rookie. Myers was not always a power hitter in the minor leagues. Made some changes in his approach. Strikeouts went up noticeably last year, but
didn't matter.
Nobody really cared because he had 37 home runs.
Boy.
37 home runs between AA and AAA. The 1-2 is swinging a soft ground ball to the left side. This will be tough for Peralta, and he'll just pick it up because by the time the ball finally got to his glove, Myers is already almost on first base.
Well, he's heard me say a lot, too good of a pitch. Remind everybody that you can take batting practice August 9th at Comerica. And the great Dave Resma will be throwing pitches. 313-471-2550. Visit Tigers.com. The great Dave Rosema. Did I say the great Dave Rosema?
A lot of times.
Well, that's what he wrote it down. Say it many times, he says.
Today's game brought to you in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, the official health care provider of the Detroit Tigers radio network. Luke Scott at the plate. Soft fly ball to left on the first pitch that he saw from Justin in the second inning. Not many players in this lineup with good numbers against Justin going into this game. You mentioned the home runs for the top 3 hitters. There's a strike. So Jennings and Joyce are really the kind of 2 to watch. Scott has a home run, but that was a while ago, 4 for 17.
It was in Baltimore when they hit a ton of home runs and off of the last game in that series.
It was a flip over to first.
I remember, was it last year, the year before, and he bombed it.
He was in an incredible home run tear.
Yep, I don't think he had at least 4 home runs in that series.
First 2 years of Baltimore. It's been a while. 2009, 2010, and Tigers have handled them since. There's a pitch, way hiding outside.
He's not the fearsome
he's not.
hitter he was with Baltimore. And as a DH, Dan, how long can they stay with somebody with
I think it's a good question.
that lack of power and batting average as a DH?
Scott, with his 1 for 3 yesterday, 6 for his last 46 against Tigers pitching. There's a pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Since that incredible stretch where he hit 10 home runs and 47 at-bats in 2 years, in 2009 and 2010.
Yeah, the Tiger staff just kept throwing him fastballs, and he just kept hitting them out.
10 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 47 at-bats. You just don't see that.
No, Tigers were part of that.
A little flip over to first.
And there were no cheapies, which you can get in Baltimore.
Baltimore is beating up on the Yankees today, and Chris Davis has hit another home run.
Yikes.
Here's the 2-1, swinging a soft ground ball to second, charging Infante, backhand flip to Peralta, relay to first. They turn the double play. Nicely turned on a softly hit ground ball, Infante, Peralta to fielder. That's
what a good changeup supposed to do. Get an easy ground ball, an easy pop-up, and that absolutely worked. That was what Justin wanted, and he got it. Donation to Jack's Place for Autism, donated by Zuber Buick GMC in Taylor, Michigan. Nice area.
Home run for Davis, his 29th of the year, 3 RBIs, and he's keeping pace right now with Miguel Cabrera. He's got 77 RBIs to go with those 29 home runs, and he's still hitting .330.
You know, we there in Baltimore we saw it, and of course at Comerica Park we saw the power again.
9-0 Baltimore in the 4th.
Oh,
there's a strike on the outside corner.
Not much pity for the Yankees. That's what I hear anyway.
You're not hearing a lot league-wide?
No, not heavy.
Sympathy cards?
No, not much.
Let's see. Teixeira's done for the year. A-Rod says he might be done or he might be back. His comments are kind of on the strange side right now.
Just
the general manager finally told him to shut the heck up.
That was kind of right to the point, wasn't it?
Here's the strike one. In the dirt, Derek Jeter is outside and running for the first time. So that was the big development, that he's outside and running, I guess, instead of on a treadmill.
You know,
he's
never
far
seen,
away.
I've never seen anything covered like when he brushes his teeth, what time he gets to the ballpark. I mean, come on.
How does the ankle feel?
Yeah, my goodness.
Here's the 1-1. Curveball goes over the head of Yunel Escobar, ducks down out of the way.
Didn't try to do it, but I wish he'd thrown a fastball to move somebody off the plate. Payback. That's what
payback.
Yeah.
And Curtis Granderson doesn't look like he'll be back for several more weeks. It's just it's a lineup that needs a lot of help. Wells and Hafner were the big bats early and not lately. There's a pitch up and in, but again, an off-speed pitch misses, and it's now 3-1 on Escobar.
I heard some rumblings today about there's some coaches they're not too happy with because of the first sacker coming back. They felt maybe too soon when he kind of got the okay from one of the folks. So a little rough.
A doctor, I would assume, not a coach.
Well, no, coach.
There's a fastball high. Escobar walks, so a coach is the one who gave him clearance.
Well, not clearance, but said he was okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I've heard. Now, I don't know because I'm not involved, but I know I have a friend that is a friend of some people there. My people talk to his people. I have a lot of people, you know that.
That brings up Molina. Jose Molina, still one of the best at receiving, and that's why the Rays have him. The Rays really haven't had that regular catcher since Deano Navarro made the All-Star team. What was that, in 2008, I think it was.
And that is so strange because their pitching has been so good.
They've gone through a slew of catchers, and it's always kind of a semi-platoon situation, and it is this year with Lobaton and Molina.
And none of them can hit.
Not very often.
No. So it's amazing, though, that you don't have a regular catcher that catches their staff that's been so good.
There's a strike on the outside corner. You'd think there'd be that Russell Martin type who was the backbone of all these good staffs in recent years, but it's a steady succession, and that's very unusual for a team that relies on good pitching.
Well, you mentioned Navarro. I mean, he was an all-star, and then all of a sudden he done here.
Throw over to first to drive Escobar back. He took off in Molina's at bat last time. He had a good jump on Justin, but Molina fouled that particular pitch off. Ended up being stranded at first in the second inning. 3-1 Tigers are in the fourth inning. The 1-1 pitch outside, but there's a reason Jose Molina is still around. His defensive skills are prized by the Rays. Infante shades up the middle. The Tigers outfield has not done a lot of shifting in these two games. They played almost everybody kind of straight up. Here's the 2-1. That one's high, and it's now 3-1. So again, Justin Verlander gets two quick outs here in the fourth inning. We saw this in the first. And then the walk, and now 3-1 on the guy who doesn't represent really a threat at the plate, Jose Molina.
Oh, that's right, boy.
Pitch count right now at 57 for Justin. 3-1, runner goes, pitch inside, he walked him. Back-to-back walks. Here in the fourth inning with 2 outs. Pitch counts are brought to you every game by Sunoco and the Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win.
Well, Jeff Jones, pitching coach, going out, and, I told you he talked to me about the mechanic change that he made, felt that, he got it back and so forth, but we're seeing what we've been seeing really most of the year, let's face it. But, you walk 2 batters with 2 down.
And again, Jim, it's the bottom part of the order.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Hard to explain the production for the bottom 3 hitters when it's never been a problem area in opposing lineups for Justin Verlander.
You should just bury him. And you get to the point, really, I mean, our great fans are saying, what's going on? I mean, you get to the point where you got to say, what's going on? I mean, I know they've been already saying that, but, I mean, here's a guy who just got a huge contract and had the best stuff in the world at one time. We're not seeing that now.
Number 9 hitter, Kelly Johnson batting. He swings and hits a soft ground ball to third. Backing up to play the hop, Cabrera guns it down to second for the force on Molina.
That was fast.
Jeff Jones did that. Jeff Jones told him to do that.
Exactly right.
A force at second base ends the threat after a couple of walks with 2 outs. We played 3-1 Tigers at Tropicana Field over the Rays on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Top of the 5th inning, 3-1 Tigers over the Rays, trying to make it 2 straight and win a series.
Beautiful.
To start this 11-game road trip. 5th inning is brought to you by the DMC. All-star lineups. These are all-star DMC docs. Every Tigers double this season is a wall-side windows double. Get double the savings with 2 windows for the price of 1. Base runners in every inning for the Rays. 3 base runners in the bottom of the 4th inning, but Justin Verlander escapes without a run scoring. Tigers have had base runners in each of the first 3 innings. Archer just worked his first 1-2-3. That was the 4th. Now Andy Dirks takes a fastball to start the 5th, ball 1. 2, 3, 4 hitters against this righty.
I like this arm a lot.
1-0 pitch. Sharp slider misses inside. Dirks has taken a called third and grounded out to second base.
If you asked me which pitcher would you take, if you had your choice, the kid last night or tonight, I'd say this young man.
This guy.
Boy.
Here's the 2-0 to Dirks. That's a strike on the inside corner.
Catcher got that strike. Way he caught it.
Colome's comments last night, it was really one guy, Cabrera. Well, that was true, but there were a lot of good swings for outs off of Colome last night. There's a swing and a foul out of play, and you look at the good swings in this game for the Tigers. The home run for Jackson. Hard ground ball off the bat of Cabrera. The other 2, well, really the other 3 singles in the third, Jim, none of them were really hard hit.
No, that's right. I mean, this
2 ground balls and a flare.
This is a good arm.
Here's the 2-2 to Dirks. Swing and a foul out of play. A nice, easy 94 up to 98 with the fastball.
When you have those type of mechanics, Again, if it's 98 to the hitter because of his mechanics, it looks faster to the hitter.
First inning, he was more 92, 93. You felt he was almost aiming the ball.
Yes.
And here's the 2-2. Swinging a soft ground ball to short. Waist-high bounce for Escobar. Near the bag at second. Fires over to first. Dirks is out number one here in the fifth inning. Since the first inning, Jim, his fastball's been consistently 94, 95, and above.
Attacking the hitters now. Before, I think it's obvious. We saw a pitcher earlier this year that was trying not to walk anybody, and this is what he did early in the ball game.
Yep.
I said in the back of his mind, he walked a lot of people. I can't walk him. Well, that's how you get hurt.
That's a guy with a great arm, too, Jake Arrieta.
Oh, that's right. Yes, sir.
That brings up Miguel Cabrera. First pitch to Cabrera, way inside.
Man.
Miguel with a ground ball single. That was after Jackson had hit his home run to give the Tigers the 1-0 lead in the third. With 2 outs, Martinez with a ground ball single. They went to second and third on a wild pitch, and Peralta brought them both home. It was a swing and a tap foul, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And all he could do was tap it foul at home plate.
Yeah, if the big man does get a hold of it, it has some pretty good action on it. He's airing it out now, the young man.
Nice, easy, mid-90s fastball to go with a sharp slider. The windup in the 1-1. Fastball high and outside. Pitch count is still reasonable. He's been at this point in 3 different games with a pitch count anywhere from, 94 to 103 to 109. He came out of 3 games before he completed 5 innings with those pitch counts. Here's the 2-1 in the dirt, and his pitch count here is at 83 in the 5th inning. The Rays would be thrilled to get 5 out of him, and preferably 6.
Yeah.
And right now he's looking like a guy who can go 6.
Yeah, unless the boys start rack attacking him.
3-1 the count on Cabrera. 14-game hitting streak for Miguel with his single his last time up.
Another slider.
3-1 pitch, up and in with the slider, missed badly. The last 12 games now, Miguel, 24 for 46. A little over 500 for 12 games. With Miguel Cabrera, 6 home runs in that time. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Rays, heads out to the mound after the 3rd walk of the game issued by Chris Archer.
I would say the way he threw the last couple of pitches looked to me like he backed off a little bit, and that'll cause you to be a little wild. Okay, got to talk about the White Sox again. The 10th of July, the first 10,000 fans 21 and older get a free Tiger Stars and Stripes cooler bag brought to you by Miller Lite. I know you probably want one, Dan. I do, too. For tickets, 866-66-TIGER. Visit tigers.com. I'm excited to see the White Sox. Can't wait to talk to my old buddy Ed Farmer, who I've played against. He told me I hit a home run off of, and I said, Ed, I don't remember that because you were so nondescript. I remember Louis Tiant and Sudden Sam McDowell hit home runs off of, but I don't remember you at all, Ed.
I thought you always said he threw your 98-mile-an-hour slider low and away, and you hit it out.
Well, it's still gone. I hit it so far.
So you do remember it.
Well, after he reminded me, I said, now you were the guy.
That brings up Prince Fielder. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Ooh, close to it, I guess.
Tigers will come off this road trip, and they'll have played just about 90 games by the time they see the Chicago White Sox, which means 19 of their last 72 games will be against Chicago. That's a pretty good clip.
And, to catch them the way they're playing right now would be nice. Hope they keep it up.
Paul Konerko is really having a tough time. Dunn has become the old Adam Dunn. He's hitting home runs, and he's not hitting for average, but at least he's become a force again.
And Konerko not, huh?
He just has not hit with any kind of consistency all season long. Prince swings and fouls it out of play.
You know what, Dan? In knowing him like we do, who's a great player, it probably just wore him down what's going on this year. That's big. I think it's a possibility.
Again, Cleveland beat the White Sox today 4-3. So they've taken the first 3 games in that weekend series.
Boy.
1-2, the count on Fielder. He's walked into the fly ball to center field. Deep to center field. The 1-2 pitch here. Whoa, way out of the strike zone. Molina had to jump up, grab it, spun all the way around. The momentum of the pitch carried him all the way around nicely. Cabrera's at first with 1 out.
That shows. It should show everybody how hard he's throwing. That's to help his pitcher.
3 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. All 3 runs in the third inning. No errors. 1 run, 5 hits for the Rays. Their run scored also in the third. Archer delivers the 2-2. Swinging line drive into left field. Joyce coming in. He'll make the catch. Cabrera halfway to second. Retreats to first.
Again, the ball not stumped,
Line drive right to Matt Joyce.
Batter takes their bat with them, That's kind of a sign that not happy with what he did.
Four right-handed bats in this lineup against this righty who has just shut down right-handed batters in his career. And credit to Jackson for the home run and Peralta for the 2-run single.
That's right.
Lefties have not done much against this righty. Omar Infante has a double. Victor Martinez batting, and he takes a slider for a strike. 1 for 2 for Victor. 2-out single extended the third inning and allowed the Tigers to tack on 2 big runs in a 3-1 game. Tight, low-scoring games the norm here at Tropicana Field with these two teams. Tigers exploded for 6 runs last night.
That's right. That's
the most runs they've scored here the last 4 years, and they've played well here.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, at any rate. Just they're always tight, low-scoring games. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. Tigers average 4 runs in their wins, and they average about 2 runs in their losses here.
And, this is a ball club. It's not a good hitting ball club. They started out good, and they're short with their pitching, yet still it is a battle here.
Cabrera's at first with 2 outs, an 0-2 count on Victor Martinez in a 3-1 game. We're in the 5th inning. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Tigers have won 3 of 4 from the Rays this year. Victor Wedding, the 0-2. In the dirt, blocked by Molina. Cabrera took off, throw to second, not nearly in time. That's a good base runner right there. A lot of guys do not go like he did. He saw the ball in the dirt and took off. And Molina's got a very good arm still, had no chance to throw him out.
Well, once the ball got over that area there, that's instincts. He knows you got to, first of all, find the ball, come up and throw a perfect strike. And Miguel has tremendous instincts. I think he's got as good instincts as I've seen for a long time.
That ball did not go very far away from Molina. But as soon as he saw it trickling away, he took off.
It's a good play.
It really is.
There's 2 outs. Now you're in scoring position.
Wild pitch gets Miguel Cabrera to second. Scoring position for Victor Martinez. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, gets by Molina. And over to third goes Cabrera.
Beautiful.
Probably a wild pitch, but I'm sure Molina feels like, Jim, he should have blocked that ball.
Well, you saw the glove come up. That's a cardinal sin for any catcher, let alone a catcher as good as he is. He tried to catch the ball instead of block it, and that's a cardinal sin for a catcher. You learn that early on. You want to block it, you want to smother it, you don't want to catch it. It's like the old 5-hole in hockey,
Yep.
For a catcher, as good as he is, that's not a good play.
Goes into the books as a wild pitch. Cabrera's at third. One more wild pitch gets him home.
Let's try that. What the heck? Just to be sure. And then let the Victor get a hit.
2-2, the count on Victor. Batting lefty against the righty. Tigers trying to add to a 2-run lead in the 5th. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball to second base. Big hop for Zobrist, charging to his right. An easy flip over to Loney to get Martinez. Tigers strand a man at third. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning in St. Petersburg. Tigers 3, Rays 1. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. By Tigers pitcher, University of Toledo students will be a little closer to trimming their dreams into jobs as $100 is deposited in the UT Strikeouts for Scholarships account. Dan Dickerson, Jim Price, glad to have you along on a Saturday night from Tropicana Field.
Beautiful weather, just perfect.
Terry Haas, Chuck Keller are our engineers tonight.
72 degrees again, I think.
Every day.
It's amazing.
Every day here inside in St. Pete.
Yeah, it's just great.
You walk outside, your glasses fog up immediately.
Tonight you get rained on.
Top of the order, Matt Joyce at the plate. And first pitch from Justin, low and outside. And Verlander facing Joyce, Jennings, and Zobrist here in the 5th inning. He's really been about the same against lefties this year. He's been tough on lefties. I think that's a good sign. Right-handers have had the edge, and it's a big edge. There's a strike. I don't think we've ever said that before with Verlander on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, that's not right. Believe me, that's not right.
And the best swing of this game belongs to a right-handed batter, Jennings, with a triple.
Yes.
Here's the 1-1. Fastball, swing and a miss. Swung right through a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2.
How do you figure? A little action down in the pen for the Rays.
Joyce got off to a good start. He has cooled off. The 1-2, swinging a ground ball. Deep first, backhanded by Fielder. He drops it, picks it up, throws, and he threw it wild. Threw it right over by the Rays' dugout. It did not go in the dugout. It stayed right by the fence. But that will likely be an error on Prince Fielder. I
would think so. He knocked it down. First of all, he knocked it down. He should have caught it, number one, but he couldn't catch it. Wasn't hit that hard. He kind of swiped at it. And then where he airmailed everybody.
He had a chance to get him with a good throw.
That's right.
But he fired it wide of Justin's glove. He had no chance to grab that throw from a short distance away. The error, the fourth of the year for Prince Fielder.
They say error?
Thought I heard error. They haven't gone up with hit or error on the scoreboard. But if that's not an error.
Yeah.
There's a strike on the outside corner.
I agree with you, but sometimes when their ballpark,
we have certainly seen that.
There is some home feelings about
certainly seen that.
I mean, so you have to wait. No, it's an error. All right, how about that? My goodness.
Joyce is on first.
You'll hear from Joyce though about that.
There's a swing and a miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball by Jennings. 2 home runs. When Justin faced the Rays here last year for Desmond Jennings against Justin. And today, he absolutely crushed the ball up the gap in right center for a triple and scored the Rays' only run in the third. A little flip over to first to drive Joyce back. Joyce now at just 4 for his last 35.
Tough for a leadoff hitter to be have that going, huh?
You're reminded about how there's a pitch off the plate inside, how things have kind of changed in baseball when you look at, I mean, really the power hitters, Jim, the big guys putting up the big power numbers are mostly on the infield now. Whether it's Davis or Cabrera or Fielder, or whoever it is. Yeah. Matt Joyce's .480 slugging percentage was one of the top marks among outfielders coming into this series, and that really stands out. There's a swing and a tap foul because that's a solid slugging percentage. It's not great,
right?
But it reminds you that the big thumpers in the outfield aren't there like they used to be in the corner outfield spots is what you think about.
Yeah, right. And also, nowadays, even the shortstops are Ray Euler. I mean, think of all the great shortstops through the history of baseball, Chico Carrasquel and all that. They don't have that kind of shortstop anymore.
There's a swing and a miss, and Jennings strikes out.
What a slider. Deception was strong with that slider. All right,
the second strikeout for Justin.
Texas Rangers will be in Motown July 14th, and all kids 14 under get a Justin Verlander bobblehead brought to you by the DMC. Can't wait to get one of those. We have a Miguel, a little bitty one. Now we're going to get one for Justin, 866-66-TIGER. Visit tigers.com. When they do good, we pat them on the head. If they don't, we don't pat them on the head.
Brings up Ben Zobrist. 3-1 Tigers in the fifth. He swings and lines one pass. Fielder down the right field line. He smoked it. Joyce around second, heads to third. Kelly's throw cut off on the infield. And the Rays have runners at the corners. Second sharp single of the game for Ben Zobrist. Let's pause right now for station identification. This is the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. That brings up James Loney. Soft single to center in the first. Lined out his last time up. Both times off-speed pitches.
Yes, and as we've said many, many times, and never like to throw somebody's bat speed. It's Hardy with good fastballs, and then you give in. I mean, if you're going to do that, you got to put it in a place where you can't hit it if you're heading the count.
Runners at the corners. Middle of the infield double play depth. Cabrera about 3 steps behind the base at third and off the line. Fielder holding with Zobrist at first. There's a strike on the outside corner. looking at the top 10 in slugging percentage, talking about Jim outfielders not really showing up on that top 10 list anymore. It's Davis, Cabrera, Ortiz, Longoria, Trout and Encarnacion outfielders, Lind and Kipnis, Cruz, another outfielder, and Donaldson. So 7 of the top 10 are infielders. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, that is.
Or
That
DHs.
has a strange sound to it. Because you always wanted a big thumpers, in the right field or left field. And, wow. Yeah, that's kind of different.
Third basemen are really leading the way. Josh Donaldson is having a terrific year.
Good player, that young man.
The 0-2 swinging a ground ball foul. He just reached out and punched a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
There you go.
Foul down the third base line.
When you need it, this is what he used to do. When he needed more, he had it. That's good. And Donaldson used to be a catcher, by the way.
That's right. He hadn't played much third base, and he's a very good third baseman.
They put him in kind of emergency, I think, didn't they? After Brandon got hurt, Brandon Inch.
He hardly played there. Loney waiting on the 0-2. Pena setting up inside. Swinging a line drive right field. It's going to drop for a base hit. In to score comes Joyce. Stopping at second is Zobrist. And we've got a 3-2 game here in the fifth.
You know, I would say, I could be wrong, but I would say that he tried to go up the ladder because he's a better low ball hitter, and he absolutely drilled it. I think that's where they wanted to go. But he fooled him.
It doesn't sound like much, but opponents are hitting 203 and 2-strike counts this year, Jim. It's not with a lot of power, but it does show that unlike past years when they've hit 138, 134, and we've seen 4 2-strike hits in this game alone against Justin Verlander.
Yes.
It is a change. He's not putting hitters away in 2-strike counts like he used to.
No, he used to bury them. Goodbye. Grab some bench.
Will Myers at the plate, swing and a miss. Well, the fastball is geared up here in the fifth inning, 97, 98, with each of his last 3 fastballs.
But does it take good swings for him to do that? You know, do it before they have good swings.
Here's the strike one in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You bring up a good point. Dan was thinking, change up here. And people that really know how to pitch, like Justin, normally it is something that they do. They back off. They slow down. But he's just going up the ladder.
Here's the 1-1. Swinging a foul over the screen. 99 on that fastball.
There you go.
I dare say it's the first time we've seen that this year.
It sure is.
98 and 99, so it's there. Jim, it seems like he's at least progressing toward the point where he can throw those upper 90 fastballs more often.
That's right. And, the mechanic change that he made, it's working. And it was just a little thing where he was, I can talk about it now, where he was bending backwards with his upper body.
Here's the 1-2, swinging a soft ground ball to short. Peralta has it. Underhand flip to Infante. 1, relay to first. They turn the double play. Beautifully turned by Peralta and Infante, and a slow chopper to short to end the threat for the Rays.
Boy, what a pitch. Slider, easy double play.
They get an unearned run, put together 2 singles after the error, but Justin gets out of further trouble by getting a dangerous hitter in Will Myers. We played 5 in St. Petersburg, 3-2 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. The 3-2, top of the 6th inning. Chris Archer's day is done. Alex Torres, a lefty, takes over on the mound.
Pitcher change brought your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealers. Boy, what a job this young man is doing, only making his 12th appearance. 6 hits in 21 innings. How about that?
Johnny Peralta takes a pitch low.
How about 28 strikeouts in 21 innings? 6 walks, 1 earned run. Are you kidding me? Wow. Lefties 107, righties 073.
There's a pitch outside. It's not too often. Even in a short little sample like this, you see an 087 batting average for opponents.
Yeah, I mean, this is startling numbers, again, even though it's not a lot of at-bats.
Swing and a miss on the 2-0, and it's now 2-1.
Boy.
6 for 69. That's what opposing batters have done against this lefty.
Man.
There's a strike to Peralta, and it's quickly 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Why wouldn't you start him?
He was a starter in the minor leagues. So they have, and apparently needed a long guy out of the bullpen. There's a swing and a miss. And Peralta strikes out, make it 6 for 70.
That was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Must be some deception that we don't see, and because we haven't seen him that much, but we'll figure it out.
Spent all of last year in the minor leagues as a swingman, starter, reliever, 6.72 ERA in an injury-shortened season. And then okay numbers this year. At AAA as a starter, 3.50 ERA. A lot of walks, 4 per 9 innings, but 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. And now the Rays just love him out of the bullpen.
Boy, you can't blame him. My goodness.
Kelly batting, takes a pitch in the dirt.
You have a left-hander that shuts down everybody. Man.
Called up briefly in May, then back down, now back up again, and you get the feeling he just might stay this time.
I would think that's a good going out on a limb there.
Kelly takes a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Final line for Chris Archer. Just 5 innings, but they had to be pleased with what they saw here tonight.
Boy, that's good stuff. Good arm.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss.
Yikes.
2 strikeouts for Torres.
My goodness. Yeah, you know what? That young man Archer is. In fact, I wouldn't mind if the Tigers had both these young kids, one last night and tonight. But this kid tonight, the ease with which the ball comes out of his hand without a lot of effort. Again,
Yep.
high 90s to the hitter, even faster because of what I just said.
5 innings. He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And great stuff. Here's a broken back ground ball to third base off the bat of Infante. Gloved by Johnson, who was in tight. An easy throw over to Loney. And on 10 pitches, it's a quick inning for Torres and the Rays. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. By McDonald's, which brews the official coffee of the Detroit Tigers radio network. 6th inning, bottom of 3-2 Tigers over the Rays in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Our 6th inning is brought to you by the Jack Demmer Automotive Group. Discover the Demmer difference. 6, 7, 8 hitters, Scott, Escobar, and Molina face Justin Verlander.
Big inning right here.
It really is, Jim.
Yeah, this is.
Only one time in his last 9 starts has Justin allowed fewer than 3 runs in a game. An ERA of just over 6 in that time. And this is a team that, well, we think this lineup is pretty pitchable, especially without Longoria in it.
Absolutely. You're correct.
Scott is one of those batters who's been pretty pitchable all season long. He swings and misses here. Got off to a good start early into the end of April. Last 30 games, he's hit just .206 with 1 home run.
You're going to be the DH. You either got to hit a lot of home runs or a high batting average. One of the two.
Low batting average the last couple of years, but the power had been steady in a reserve role. Power hasn't been there this year. Curveball for a strike.
See, a changeup, curveball. What do you think he was really looking for, Dan?
Neither.
That's correct.
Cabrera's off the line, deep at third. Peralta shades up the middle. Jackson shades a little bit to left center on Scott. Straight up and left for Dirks, and then right for Don Kelly. The 0-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball softly to second. Big hop for Infante coming into his left. An easy toss to fielder. 1 up, 1 down, 6th inning. Tigers holding on to a 3-2 lead.
Well, that's execution right there. That was in the pregame meeting with the catcher and Justin, and that's the game plan against a hitter. Perfect.
And Jim, he always has a game plan. All the starters do, and it's just he hasn't been able to execute it, has he?
No.
Throw the pitches like he wants to in certain counts. He knows what to do. He just can't execute it all the time.
He's no longer that dominant pitcher. I mean, like we saw him go up to 97, 98, but not consistent with it.
There's a slider that just misses outside.
Everybody's so used to him dominating everybody. Now, like you said, this today is most he's been up above 95
all season long.
All season long, but he goes back to the the low 90s, which, is okay, but more, you'd like to see maybe 93, 94, 95 in that area as opposed to 90, 91.
There's a strike on the outside corner. Escobar didn't like the call from the home plate umpire, Dan Iasonia. 15 starts of 8 innings or more last year.
Wow.
For Justin. 0 so far this year through 16.
Not as we said, domination, not there.
Here's a 1-1. Fastball swing and a miss, and he was tardy on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It does seem like we're seeing more consistent velocity from innings 1 through now 6 from Justin. Yeah. We saw 95 in the first. We're still seeing it here in the 6th. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a foul straight back, and he geared up there to 97. So, again, we hear about mechanical changes all the time, Jim, but some are bigger than others. And this might have been one of those little things that clicked for him coming into this game tonight.
Yeah. I mean, there's a million, I've got this right now.
Right.
Well, when Justin said that, I looked at him and said, okay.
All right.
He said, but don't say anything, but now I can, see?
1-2. Boy, it looked like a strike on the outside corner. I'm not sure where that pitch was.
Really?
It's ball 2.
But that's, he's a perfectionist, Justin, and he's a great, pitcher out there that wants to win and do the job.
2-2, swinging a high fly ball, right field, not deep. Don Kelly backs up 2 steps, makes the catch. Escobar is out, and that's the thing you just cannot underestimate with Justin, is that burning desire. He wants to be the best. He wants to be in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't make any bones about it.
Right.
And he's not himself this year, at least his last 9 starts. He's going to find a way to figure it out. I figure pitch with either what he has or, in the case of what you said, maybe find that velocity that's been missing most of the year.
I think tonight is a nice step for him.
Molina batting, and he takes a curveball for a strike.
Even though this is a lineup that's very pitchable, not taking nothing away from what he's doing, but let's face it.
The stuff is better.
That's right.
We've seen some curveballs. And you said you need the arm speed to throw the curveball that he throws.
Right.
There's a breaking ball in the dirt, and it's been inconsistent at best this year.
I haven't called many yellowhammers for him. Really, it's been
and he would just drop it in, buckle the knees, guys would head back to the dugout.
I'd say, Dan, there's another yellowhammer. He used to own the yellowhammer.
He was the only.
He's the only yellowhammer.
3-2 Tigers, bottom of the 6th inning. Another slider outside. 2-1 on Molina, who was walked and struck out in this game. The runs for the Rays, a triple and a bounce out in the 3rd, scored their first. An error, a single, and then another single scored the next run in the 5th. Here's the 2-1. Just outside.
Wow.
3-1 on Molina. Can't possibly walk Molina twice in a game.
Now, wouldn't you think that ball went over the plate before the catcher caught it?
It's an optical illusion if it didn't.
Yeah, really. Man.
Now the windup in the 3-1. High and tight. He did walk.
Wow.
Jose Molina, who'd walked 8 times all year coming into this game. He's walked him twice.
Well, at least there's no speed on the base pass.
3 singles would score Molina from first.
Maybe. Yeah, you're right. I think so. That might do it. Billy Butler would be a heck of a race. I think I'll take Billy.
That brings up Kelly Johnson. A mighty struggle for him over his last 21 games. He and Scott and Joyce have all cooled off. There's a swing and a miss.
Boy.
He was a dangerous hitter when the Rays came to Detroit. The Tigers handled him in that series. And he's now just 8 for his last 75.
Wow. Oh.
He hit 10 home runs his first 150 at-bats.
Yeah. Boy.
And hit for average. Here's the strike 1. Breaks off the curveball and grabs the outside corner 0-2.
Looked like if it was a Tiger batter, I'd say one around the plate.
But it's not a Tigers batter, so you're saying what?
Good pitch. Excellent call.
A great call.
I love it.
3-2 Tigers, bottom of the 6th inning. Man on, 2 outs. The wind up the 0-2. Molina took off. Line drive right field. Deep, but going back. Kelly will make the catch.
Wow.
Johnson squared it up for the second time tonight. He hits a line drive out. Kelly makes the catch. The walk does no harm. We're through 6 innings of play at Tropicana Field. 3-2 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. My Tigers pitcher, $100 is deposited into the University of Toledo's Strikeouts for Scholarships account. Turn your job into a reality at the University of Toledo. Brian Pena against the lefty Alex Torres, and the first pitch is in the dirt.
Well, let's see somebody hit this guy.
He had a stretch of 25 innings without giving up a run, and it's very unusual to see a guy with a streak that long, Jim, spanning 3 different seasons.
Right.
Or I should say 3 different years.
2011.
Because it went back to 2011 because he was in the minor leagues all last year because he wasn't effective. So in between,
he's been great.
He's completely ineffective, but at the major league level, 25 consecutive scoreless innings over 2 different seasons spanning 3 years. There's a swing and a foul.
Well,
2-1 on Pena, and the Rays bullpen needed a lift.
Well,
they needed
right.
a guy like this.
For sure. Well, you look at his arsenal, it's got to be the art of pitching because it certainly isn't overpowering, but the movement, the art of pitching has got to be, we haven't seen him that much, but that's got to be the difference.
Pena swings and lifts a slicing drive deep down the right field line. Long run for Joyce, and he will make the catch. That's Myers in fair territory, right where the foul territory runs out by the wall. He made a nice running catch.
Well, remind everybody about the Wayne State University baseball camp headed by fine folks. And, of course, Jeff Jones, what a pitching coach he is, July 12th and 13th. Miguel Cabrera is going to be there. Are you kidding me? Torrey Hunter, are you kidding me? 313-577-2749. 313-577-2749. Wow. Okay.
I would think the world of Jeff, so we're biased, but that's going to be a good camp.
Always a good camp. Always. I tell you, the art of pitching and making pitchers, Jeff Jones. Talk to him.
He can simplify things for the youngsters, especially. He's got a very nice manner. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Jackson. There's a strike. Heck, he can simplify things for major leaguers, too.
Well, it's interesting. He was a vicious hockey player. And now he's a gentle guy here, but he used to run those little kids into the board. It was Little Caesars hockey program.
1-1 to Jackson is low and outside.
But he used to run them into the boards and you weren't supposed to.
2-1 on Austin. Home run, opposite field. Got the scoring started in the third. Torres, the starter in the minor leagues, works from the full windup and delivers a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that apparently was inside.
That's one of the few pitches that the umpire has not called, I think, correctly tonight. Good call.
Walks a problem in the minor leagues, not in the major leagues this year. There's a pitch inside, but he walks Austin Jackson because Austin Jackson can make anybody, apparently, throw him ball 4.
That's right. That's the thing.
Austin has been on a ton. That's 7 walks in his last 5 games, in which he's only had a handful of hits, but he's getting on base with great regularity.
Got a pinch hitter here.
Avisail Garcia will pinch hit for Andy Dirks. Check some scores in the General RV scoreboard from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. Garcia steps in. Man on, leading off, or with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Garcia is hitting .250 in his 80 at-bats. He's cooled off a little bit at the plate recently.
But he is dangerous. Anytime he gets in the box with his strength, he is dangerous.
First pitch to Garcia, swing and a miss. Fastball away, got a little extra on it at 93.
Dan, I'm talking with Mac McClendon. I said some time ago that he's got to be more upright. And we were working on that recently, and you saw there, he is a little more upright. But then he has a tendency to bend down a little bit when the pitcher goes into motion.
That was one of the changes they made with Will Myers in the minor leagues. I thought was interesting because of what you have said all season long about Avisail. I mean, the strength in this young man's body.
That's right.
The power he possesses.
And he was up there like a Judy hitter.
Knees still bent, the upper body upright. Then the pitch comes in. He bends a little bit more at the waist as the pitch comes in. The 0-1 misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera's waiting on deck. Tigers trying to add to a 3-2 lead. They get some big add-on runs late thanks to the Titanic home run shot off the bat of Prince Fielder.
Well, that, right now, 3-2 in this ballpark, you don't feel very safe.
No, you don't. Jackson edges off, lefty on the mound. He slows the running game. Stops it looks like. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a foul back to the screen. We'll check some scores. Games being played in American League ballparks. Rangers and the Reds are 4-4. That's an attractive weekend series down in Texas, where the Rangers have started to play much better baseball of late after their 6-game losing streak. They've won 3 in a row again. They've won 8 of their last 10. 4-4 in the 7th.
Oh, it's a 4-4 now. The shortstop I saw played the other day, the kid that was
Jurickson Profar?
Yeah, pretty sure he played shortstop the other day.
And he has not been playing. He's been up, but he has not been playing as they convert him to an outfielder.
Really?
Here's the 1-2. That's high, and I don't know if that's temporary or just because right now there's no room on the infield for him.
But, he's magical, supposedly, at shortstop.
Exactly.
I know the guy they have there right now is magical, too, but...
They signed Andrews to the long-term deal and then put themselves in a bit of a spot with Profar, so they obviously feel like he can help them in other areas.
Wow.
Cubs lead the Mariners in Seattle 3-2, bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 6-2 at Fenway. Jose Bautista, 2 home runs. He's got 18. Encarnacion has 23. Not a bad 1-2 punch.
Boy.
Cardinals beat the A's 7-1. Indians over the White Sox 4-3. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3. Got him on the outside corner. Off-speed pitch.
Well, changeup and very hittable changeup.
Twins beat the Royals by the final of 6-2. Angels beat the Astros 7-2. Baltimore still beating up on the Yankees 11-2 in the 7th inning in Baltimore. Davis has hit another home run.
You're kidding.
So this is game... No, I'm not.
Wow.
This is game 82 for the Orioles. So they just played their midway point. So 30 home runs in game 82 for Chris Davis.
My goodness. And when he hits them, he hits them.
Hard for Miguel to keep up with that guy.
Boy.
Every time Miguel makes a charge, he answers. Miguel at the plate, and he swings and misses 1 for 2 plus a walk. 14-game hitting streak with his hit tonight.
Boy, 94 on the heater that time, and he was late, Miguel.
Marlins lead the Padres 7-1 in the 9th. Pirates lead the Brewers 2-1 in the 7th inning. The Pirates trying to make it a 50-30 start to this season.
Boy, the Bucks.
You got to love it. That's good for baseball to have that team playing well. The strike 1 pitch, swinging a ground ball, deep third. Johnson fields it along the line. Plants, looks to second, throws to first. And that is it for the Tigers here in the 7th. They get the Jackson walk and no more.
Boy, that lefty is pretty good.
7th inning stretch time at Tropicana Field. Tigers holding on to a 3-2 lead. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. The 7th inning at Tropicana Field. 7th inning brought to you by Wallside Windows. They can do that. They are the factory. 3-2, Tigers in the lead. Justin Verlander worked 4 consecutive 7-inning starts from the early part of the month, really late May into mid-June. Then the last 2 starts, as Jim mentioned, both 5-inning starts. And now he's got a chance to get the Tigers 7, maybe even 8 innings here tonight. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Close enough.
Tigers have really managed his pitch count this year. He's only thrown as many as 120 pitches one time this year. And we saw that with, great frequency last year. And there's a pitch in the dirt. Because he could and because he sustained the velocity, sustained the sharpness deep into games over and over and over. He got better as games went on. So it was easy to let him go 120-plus pitches.
He was so dominating. I mean, really, just crazy.
There's a strike. Ooh, just missed with a curveball. 2-1 on Joyce. At times a tight strike zone for Dan Iasonia. Pretty consistent, I would say, tonight.
Not too many, facial expressions from the hitter to the umpire.
There's a changeup low, and it's now 3-1 on Joyce. The only 2 walks, 2 of the 3 walks for Justin, back-to-back in the 4th inning. And then he walked one of those 2 batters, Molina, again in the 6th.
That's crazy.
Now the 3-1. Outside, fastball away. And this is the thing that we have seen with Justin more often this year. The walk rate is up. Rather significantly from a year ago. It's still reasonable at just over 3, but for him, that's high.
And to walk the people that he's walked, I mean, today, like Molina, I mean, come on, I mean.
Joyce is 4 for his last 35.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's why we go back again to how he used to dominate players, teams. Will he be that way again consistently?
Tiger bullpen just now getting busy. Jennings shows bunt, pulls the bat back. It's a called strike.
Smiley and Rondon starting to throw.
Bullpen remains very much on Jim Leland's mind. He spent quite a bit of time talking about it to you and to the media.
Yes, he did. He
before the game today. He felt very good coming out of last night's game, heading back to the hotel. There's a flip to first. Very close. Joyce almost picked off. Perfect throw to Prince Fielder. He felt good about last night's game because he feels like the bullpen, more than anything else, it was a great win, but more than anything else, he feels like the bullpen is just about to the point where it can get settled and into, as he likes to put it, into sync. There's a throw over to first. Picked out of the dirt by Prince Fielder. That's actually a good play by Prince.
Yeah, it is. You know, what Justin did tonight, that's what he's looking for. To save that bullpen, to get ready.
He said a couple more good starts, and this would certainly qualify now that Justin's through 6.
Right, exactly.
Just getting people into the roles that he wants them in, getting Albuquerque and Smiley perhaps settled into their 8th inning roles. The strike one pitch, a bunt attempt, and
wow.
It was a fastball, and it looked like he was surprised it was a fastball because he kind of leaned over and then leaned back, and he bunted it foul to the screen. And this is a guy that the Rays need to lay down a bunt, and that wasn't a very good attempt.
I don't know how that ball didn't hit his hand, or he had both hands on the bat, and it looked like it was boring right in where he holds the bat. Well, he'd be in pain if it hit his hand. He'd be jumping up and down.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pena setting up inside. The 0-2, fastball high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Albuquerque not available in this game tonight. And Jim Leland said he would check with Benoit to see about him and availability tonight. He said Benoit is always very honest with him. And obviously if we see Smiley and Rondon up, Benoit must have said he's okay for tonight.
There you go.
Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 called. He got him with the breaking ball.
Wow.
We have not seen that very much this year. It's only the 3rd strikeout of the night, and he did it with the curveball.
And you see how important the pitch before was, the fastball up and in? That's what made that curveball so good. It froze him because of that fastball up and in.
Think how few times we have seen that this year.
Yeah, but I mean, one pitch set up the other pitch.
Some good signs in this game from Justin Verlander, even with only 3 strikeouts.
Which is surprising.
Because the stuff has actually been quite good.
I think it's as good as I can remember.
So maybe it gets back to what you're talking about, the proper setup of those pitches, because the stuff is certainly good enough to have racked up more than 3 strikeouts in this game.
That's a perfect example of what he just did to Jennings.
Another throw to first. Joyce has stolen 6 bases in 7 attempts. And again, Justin knows that he's been at times too easy to run on this year. Curveball low and outside. Ben Zobrist batting. He's had 2 good swings, and on the other swing with the infield back, he just hit a ground ball to second, knowing he could score the runner from third, which he did back in the 3rd inning. 2 line drive singles, his other 2 times up. 3-2 Tigers in the bottom of the 7th. There's a swing and a ground ball right side and pass to diving Infante into right. And Joyce heads over to 3rd. Same situation we saw in the 5th. Runners at the corners and only 1 out. This time a seeing eye single off the bat of Zobrist.
Well, that is a artificial surface base hit. Routine ground ball that just scooped through perfectly. Nobody can get. That's the advantage of inside.
Justin has had a double play turned behind him in 2 innings, in the 4th and in the 5th. He doesn't get a lot of double plays turned behind him. Can we see another induced here?
Remember the last time up, a change up, you got a base hit. And here's where you got to, from a catcher standpoint, you really got to go after him. Don't give in to him.
Loney 2 for 3 in this game. Soft single. And then a line drive single off a fastball his last time up. First pitch here, swinging a ground ball to second base. Charging Infante, flips to second one, relay back to first. They got him! Oh, what a play by Infante and Peralta on a softly hit ground ball. All or nothing to prevent the run, and they turn the double play.
Well, really, it's Justin Verlander. What a pitch that was by Justin to get their hottest hitter out easily like that. Then the boys did the rest.
4-6-3 inning-ending double play, and the potential tying run is stranded at third. We played 7 in St. Petersburg, 3-2 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Player of the game now to 97136. Messaging rate supply brought to you by U.S. Park, $8 a day every day. Fielder Martinez Peralta. New pitcher for the Rays, Joel Peralta on the mound, and he delivers a strike to Prince Fielder.
Pitching change, Butcher, neighborhood Michigan, Fort Dealers Way. He's been a strong young man, not young, but coming out of the bullpen for the Rays. Left-handers 171 with 1 home run, right-handers 189 with 2 home runs, and overall 34 2/3, only 22 hits, 34 strikeouts, 16 walks is high.
Third year with the Rays. He's been a solid force in the bullpen. Fly ball, center field off the bat of Fielder. Fairly deep, but going back Jennings, who'll camp under it and make the catch. Shy of the warning track, it's kind of like the same spot in left center. It's just a hard place to hit a home run here at Tropicana Field, 1 out.
And even as far as he hit it, didn't get it off the good part of the bat.
Nope.
Off towards the end. But that shows you the bat speed he has.
404 to straightaway center, where he's hit his 2 fly balls tonight. You figure it's probably, 415, maybe, where the right field wall meets the center field wall. Same for the left field wall, where it meets the center field wall.
Right, yeah.
So maybe 2 long fly ball outs, totaling close to 800 feet, not quite. Fielder is 0 for 3 plus a walk.
Needs to pull those.
400-foot fly ball down the right field line goes a long way.
That's right.
It's amazing.
You've got to pull him, man.
There's a pitch high and outside. Martinez is 1 for 3. He had a big 2-out hit in the third inning to extend that inning. And then a wild pitch put he and Cabrera in scoring position for Peralta. And on a 1-2 pitch against a very tough right-hander, Archer, against righties especially, he singled home those 2. 2 big 2-out runs in this game are the difference. There's a pitch outside to Victor Martinez, and it's now 2-0. Martinez batting lefty against a righty. Peralta works from the stretch, third base side of the rubber. He sends, holds the glove right at the belt, and here's the 2-0 pitch. A strike on the outside corner, fastball at 90.
Yeah, he's never
sneaky quick.
Yeah, hard throw, even with Kansas City, but, he has that the feel for pitching, good splitter, that really, I think, made the difference. And, of course, here, relievers come here to get better.
If you're a reliever and you're making your choice, choose Tampa and see what happens to your career.
It has been amazing.
2-1 on Victor Martinez. Now he swings and lines one into left center, a base hit. Chasing it down is Jennings, and Victor will turn and hold. Nope, and Jennings misplayed the ball. And Martinez cruises down to second base. Single and an error gets him to second.
Yep. When you hit a line drive on the surface, it's like getting a ground ball through the infield. That you better corral it because it goes quicker than you would imagine. Now Jennings plays here all the time. I know that, but that ball just scooted. Should have been held to a single, but he booted it, and that's a break. Need another run here.
He's in scoring position for a guy who delivered 2 runs with 2 outs in the third, Johnny Peralta. Peralta against Peralta in this matchup. 23,809.
A lot of Tiger fans here.
We heard the chants of "Let's go Tigers" after that double play ending the bottom of the 7th inning. How about that, Jim? Justin Verlander with 3 double play ground balls in one game.
Well, that's right. And he does not, as you said, he's not known to get a lot of double plays. Boy.
Peralta at the plate. First pitch high and tight. Off-speed pitch up and in. We got the research department on it and found that, Jim, it was just the second time in his career that he's had 3 double plays turned behind him. The only other time was his rookie season 7 years ago.
So that shows you how dominating he was. I mean, think about that.
There weren't many opportunities to turn double plays.
Because not many got on, number one.
And plus, a lot of balls hit in the air.
Yeah, boy.
Here's a 1-0, swinging to tap foul, but it shows, Jim, with men on base tonight, talked about using pitches to get the outs when you need them.
Right.
And he clearly was able to throw pitches to Scott and Myers and Loney with men on base to induce a ground ball. Each time a weak ground ball.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's really where it starts. The pitcher, he really creates that.
That was a beautifully turned double play because it was not a hard hit ball by Loney. Peralta waiting on the 1-1. Joel Peralta delivers. Swinging a fly ball, right field, not deep. Right to Will Myers. He'll back up 2 steps, make the catch. Martinez is holding at second base. 2 outs, and that leaves it up to Don Kelly.
And by the way, that double play that we were talking about, that's a donation of Jack's Place for Autism, donated by Zuber Buick GMC, and great folks there in Taylor, Michigan. Nice area.
Justin's pitch count at 105, and nobody throwing. Certainly looks like he'll be back out for the bottom of the 8th.
And, you know, I think for several reasons Jim's going to do that.
Yeah.
And you know what they are. Number one is the confidence, and you know how the team will feel that, hey, now Justin is back somewhat.
Yep.
Means a lot.
Means a lot. Don Kelly at the plate, and he takes a breaking ball strike. Attendance brought to you every game by your Barrick BP Advantage stores. Their stores locally owned and operated, and you can visit one of their stores to win a chance to go behind the scenes at Comerica Park. Kelly is 0 for 3 in this game. Gone 9 for his last 20 over his last 12 games. See if the Tigers can get another big 2-out hit. The strike 1 pitch. Check, swing, bouncer to third.
Wow.
Johnson will field and fire over to Loney, and Don Kelly is out.
Too bad.
Tigers get a man to second with a 1 out. Can't advance Martinez. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning in St. Petersburg. 3-2 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Today brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Today's game brought to you in part by Comerica Bank. Find out whether the leading bank for business. Learn more at Comerica.com/business. 3-2 Tigers as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, it's just terrific to see Justin still out there. I mean, this brings back good memories when he dominated, and I would say so far this has really been made a lot of Tiger fans happy, I would say, or feel better. Let me put it that way.
Absolutely. There's a strike. There's a lot to work with this game tonight. A lot to build off of for Justin. He does not have a start of 8 innings this year. He has only faced 1 batter in the 8th inning all season long, which is incredible. There's a ground ball fouled on the third base line. Will Myers at the plate, and he falls behind. No balls and 2 strikes. So this will be another step for him.
As good as Will Myers is, you've got to think, I mean, he's got to say, you know, Tigers are coming in. Max Scherzer and Verlander. I mean, that's a test. Now, last night he passed.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But tonight, not as good.
Soft ground ball infield base hit a pop out, and he's bounced into a double play. One of the 3 turned behind Justin. The 0-2, he swings and fouls it out of play. He's got that 1 swing of the bat potential standing there at home plate with 3 home runs in his 48 major league at bats.
Tremendous power. I watched him in batting practice. I told you, I don't go in batting practice, but I just wanted to watch his swing. He has, I told you, he hit one in the back rows of the left field bleachers. Now, folks, I don't know how far that is. I've never seen one hit there, though.
Well, the one that Miguel hit in front of that was 430 last night.
So there you go.
The wind up the 0-2, swinging a soft ground ball to short. Peralta charges, knee-high bounce, easy flip, and they just get Will Myers at first. One up, one down, 8th inning. The first time that Justin Verlander's recorded an out in the 8th inning this year.
All right, brings back good memories. All right, gang, Zuber Buick GMC, as you know, is Downriver's only place to buy a GMC truck. Zuber, it's everything you want your car to be. Now, this is great, even if you want it to be a truck. Not many folks can do that. Zuber Buick GMC and Telegraph Road in Taylor, great supporters of Jack's Place for Autism. And they will be at the big event August 1st, dancing with the All-Stars again, led by Miguel Cabrera.
Luke Scott at the plate. He's 0 for 3 in the first pitch here. It's a breaking ball low and inside. You might look at the final line and see 4 walks, 3 strikeouts for Justin. But there is no question that tonight's stuff is some of the best we've seen consistently from innings 1 through 8 this year.
And will get better. Let's put it that way. There's stuff there that he will get better.
There's a swing and a fly ball, right field, deep, going back. Garcia at the fence. He leaps, and he will not get it. Gone, a home run. Luke Scott hits an off-speed pitch for his 5th home run of the year, just his 2nd in 31 games, and we're tied at 3.
Change up. I would say got in by maybe a row and a half, but anyway, it is a home run, and change up in not a good spot. He was able to extend his arms, and when you do that for a power hitter, that's what they want.
3-3 tie in the 8th. Yunel Escobar takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for a called strike.
Now it is Rondon again, and Smiley in the pen.
Now breaking ball misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Escobar 1 for 2 plus a walk. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Tigers. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Rays. Each team has made an error. The 1-1. Swinging a ground ball softly to short. Peralta scoops it off the dirt. Easy flip over to Fielder for the second out here in the 8th inning.
Boy, oh boy.
Only 2 runs, a triple and a ground out. An unearned run in the 5th. Now the home run by Luke Scott, who'd been in a home run funk. Two outs, it leaves it up to Jose Molina for the Rays. Fernando Rodney getting loose. We'll see him in the top of the 9th inning. Molina takes a pitch high and outside. Cabrera deep and right next to the line at third base. Peralta shades toward the hole. The outfield straight up on Molina. Fastball at 96 miles an hour for a called strike. You can text your player of the game to 97136. Text the player's last name. Messaging rates apply. Brought to you by U.S. Park. $8 a day every day. 3-3 tie. We're in the 8th. Swing and a miss. Tigers had led the entire night after scoring 3 in the 3rd.
One swing of the bat, that's usually Tiger action. Change the game.
Justin's fastball velocity very consistent tonight, 94 to 97. There's a swing and a miss. He blows him away with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
And in the right spot.
The Rays tie it up on the Scott home run. We head to the 9th in a 3-3 game. Tigers and Rays on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Game. Let's pause right now for station identification on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Luke Scott's home run has tied this game at 3. 8-9-1 hitters Infante, Pena, and Jackson against the ex-Tiger Fernando Rodney.
Well, Fernando has gotten it together, but here's the numbers real quickly. He has 16 saves. He has 5 blown saves, 31 2/3, 23 hits, 3 home runs, 43 strikeouts, 23 walks. Wow, and 3 home runs.
Infante takes a strike, 93-mile-an-hour fastball to start things off.
Now, what's interesting, 3 of the 5 blown saves, the Rays had the lead with 2 out and 2 strikes and a potential final out of the game. Oh, man.
Walks were a big part of those blown saves. He went through a bad stretch. Here's a weak ground ball to first. Loney will field and make the play unassisted. A little squibber off the end of the bat. One out in the ninth inning in a 3-3 game.
Lefties 222 with 1 home run. Right-handers 173 with 2 home runs. So the home runs last year, if he gave up any home runs, it sure didn't stand out what he did last year for this ball club.
Last year was unhittable. Absolutely unhittable. There was nothing in his career that suggested he could do what he did last year.
Oh, no, especially command-wise.
But he did it at age 35 with a 0.60 ERA. Brian Pena swings and misses. He spun himself all the way around trying to find the changeup. It was a lot of walks that got Fernando Rodney in trouble. It was just a stretch from early May to late May where he appeared in 10 games and walked a ton of batters and blew 4 of the 5 that you mentioned in that short stretch. And the walks were just piling up. Well, now over his last 13 games, including one game in Detroit where he looked lights out.
Yes, he did.
Only 5 walks in 12 innings with 17 strikeouts. He's getting back to being the Fernando they saw last year. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a foul out of play. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That's what we saw in Detroit. He was throwing strikes. It was good stuff, the upper 90s fastball, certainly mid to upper 90s.
Yes, it was.
And the typical terrific swing and miss changeup.
The Bugs Bunny changeup that does everything, and the command of it has been impressive.
It's a motion to the plate that has almost no moving parts. Here's the 1-2, fastball way inside.
Oh, man, got the umpire. Oh, boy.
Got the umpire, and he's holding his right hand.
Oh, man.
You can only imagine. He just took it. That was a fastball.
Got by Molina, the catcher.
His right hand wrist through the fastball, and, Molina deflected it off the tip of his glove right into the hand wrist of the home plate umpire, Dan Iasonia.
Molina was set up way outside, had to go across his body to backhand it when you throw that hard. Not easy. Molina's good behind the plate.
So the trainer's out to look at the right hand and wrist of Dan Iasonia, who's telling him he's okay. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Pena. Jackson is waiting on deck. After Fernando left Detroit, he had a couple of rough outings, did not get a blown save, but he hasn't been quite unhittable like he was last year. He is still vulnerable. The Tigers didn't do much against him last year. Nobody did.
No, that's right.
And they didn't in their 1 inning in Detroit earlier this month. 1 scoreless inning. But that walk rate is what jumps out at you, and he can walk the bases loaded in the blink of an eye. The 2-2. Swing and a soft tap foul. Still 2-2 on Pena. 0 for 3 in this game. 3-3 tied. Tigers had taken the 3-0 lead with 3 in the third. And the Rays scored 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth, and 1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Inability to add on by the Tigers, and the offense still not there.
2-2. Swinging a line drive, base hit down the right field line. Went out, found the changeup, and hooked it into the corner. Pena around first, and he will cruise into second with a 1-out double here in the 9th. Good piece of hitting by Brian Pena.
Well, that was the Bugs Bunny changeup, and all he did was put the leverage down in that zone. It almost looked like it might bounce up, and the ball jumped off his bat. And he was thinking triple until he got the hands up by Tommy Brookins at third. I mean,
how about that, Jim?
Really motoring, and
that pitch was off the plate away.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he could do with it. I mean, and again, we've seen other hitters do that. It's a weak ground ball in the infield, but that ball jumped off his bat, and the youngster Myers had a long way to go.
Joyce in left, Jennings in center, Myers in right. They all come in a little bit. They're just about straight up on Jackson. The first pitch to Austin. Fastball at 97 for a called strike. Austin is 1 for 2 plus 2 walks in this game. Avisail Garcia is waiting on deck.
Look at this. Pitch runner. Well,
Jim Leland doesn't like what he's seeing out of Pena, who looks like he's in a little pain at second base with Kevin Rand.
Sure does.
Tigers head trainer is heading out to second base.
It has to be a hammy. You know, catchers are so muscle bound, especially in the legs. Constantly stretching, and the way he's acting is something in the back of his leg, which is as we've said, the hamstring.
Well, you've got to believe he represents a go-ahead run that we'll see a pinch runner for Pena. I was just about to say he runs the bases decently.
Yeah, he's okay. He's been a light this year. I mean, nice bright light for this ball club. Good for the personality and everything.
Well, he's got the power of persuasion. He talked Kevin Rand and Jim Leland into letting him stay in this game.
Well, you know, he had to be very honest because it's important, and he's taken his word for it. And all right, get a base hit and let him score and sit on the bench, get his equipment on. It's that simple.
Joyce got a pretty good arm in left, not always the most accurate. Myers has a reputation of a decent arm in right. The strike one, low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Second baseman Zobrist shades up the middle, trying to keep an eye on Pena, but Pena really can take a pretty decent-sized lead off second base. 3-3 tie in the 9th inning. Tigers trying to break the tie with a man at second and 1 out. Rodney sets, checks the runner Pena. Zobrist ducking in behind the pitch. Swing and a tap foul. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Very consistent with a velocity on the fastball. The changeups at 83, 84.
And you know, and you've heard me say this before. If you have problems with your mechanics or something, this is to simplify it.
Yep.
And you see more and more pitchers. I think Don Larson, the pitcher of the Yankees that threw the perfect game, was one of the first to do that. No windup.
Just no windup at all. It's like he's playing catch.
Bob Turley the same way. They were the two of the first that started this type of windup.
Here's the 1-2. Fastball high and outside. And looked like he tried to get a little extra on it. We certainly saw that in his time in Detroit.
He did at 99.
99, and it was high and outside, not close. Now the 2-2. Swing and a pop-up. Playable in front of third base. Kelly Johnson comes in and makes the catch. 2 down. That leaves it up to Avisaíl Garcia.
Got the same change-up that Pena got, but couldn't do anything with it.
It's just wicked, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's just wicked. The arm speed's the same. Comes in 14 miles an hour slower. You're geared up for the fastball. And it's just hard to do anything with that pitch.
Yeah, and you know, he's not sure what the movement's going to be. He doesn't know either. Talking about.
It'll go down, down and in, down and away.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Or straight.
Or straight. That's that. Well, you like it straight, but still, you're usually ahead of it.
Pena's at second with 2 outs. Avisaíl Garcia came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Swing and a miss here. He tried to wait for the changeup and was still not close.
No. Well, we say he's dangerous, and I'm going to say it again, and this time, hopefully, it works out.
The strike one. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Due for a good at-bat. Got out to a terrific start. Has cooled of late. The batting average has fallen below 250 for Avisaíl Garcia.
Potential, a lot of potential, but especially at the plate. A lot of work. A lot of work needs to be done.
Matt Tuiasosopo has accompanied the Tigers on this trip. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Oh, boy, he just blew the fastball by him. Well, you got the swing and miss on the changeup. You just blew the fastball by him. You'd think he'd go back to the fastball.
You would, yes. If I'm catching, that's what I'm putting down.
23,000 plus on their feet here at Tropicana Field. Pretty good crowd. We don't see a lot of big crowds here, and they're making some noise now. 3-3 game, 9th inning, potential go-ahead run at second. Zobrist is trying to shorten that lead to Pena. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Fastball at 98.
Yeah, very simple.
Tigers get a double, the 1 out, no more. Bottom of the 9th coming up. At Tropicana Field, 3-3, Tigers and Rays. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. The broadcast is presented by authority. The Detroit Tigers may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers. 3-3, Tigers and Rays, bottom of the ninth. Drew Smyly on the mound.
Well, 1/3 of inning last night, he struck out the only batter he faced. Pitching change brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Visit Bridewood Ford in Saline. Think Ford first. And the numbers, 48 innings, only 36 hits. That's good. 48 strikeouts, 14 walks, 1 home run off his pitches. He has 3 pitches he can get over at any time. A lot to like about this young man. And he is hard of pitching with a good arsenal. That's a good combination.
Ryan Roberts pinch hitting for Kelly Johnson takes a strike. Now a pitch low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Roberts is just back from the minor leagues. The 1-1. Strike on the inside corner.
That's a perfect pitch.
Roberts at 238 was sent back down to AAA. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs in his 126 at-bats. Right-handed batter against the lefties. Smiley's been tough on lefties and righties most of this year. 1-2, swing and a miss. Slider down and in. Pena will have to pick up the ball, turn and throw to first to complete the strikeout on Roberts, leading off here in the ninth.
What a slider. Down and in. Perfect. That high arm angle that really lets him throw down at the hitter. It's not on level plane, and when you throw a slider like that, I don't know anybody, except, well, Miguel Cabrera could hit that pitch. He can hit anything.
Back to the top of the order. This is interesting. Take out Matt Joyce.
Wow.
I really find this surprising, Jim, because Matt Joyce has started to hit lefties. He has at times in his career. There's a swing and a miss. And Sean Rodriguez has, well, he's just struggled all season long.
Yeah.
And he's 1 for 9 as a pinch hitter. Matt Joyce has gone 7 for his last 18 against lefties.
Well, Joe Maddon's a little unorthodox the way he manages, and that's unorthodox.
Fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rodriguez has always held the promise of a guy who can hit for average and hit for power. He's done it in the minor leagues. He has not brought that to the major leagues. 1-1, swing and a miss. That's a good changeup.
I'll tell you, changeup, fastball, breaking ball, they're good. Well, I mean, against the Tigers, Rodriguez has been an easy out his whole career, if I remember right.
Well, I think you're right, absolutely. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a tap foul off of the catcher Pena. Still 1-2. Rodriguez again pinch hitting for Joyce. Well, Joyce has been in a bit of a funk of late. And certainly Johnson fit that category, so maybe just figuring try something else.
Yeah, if he throws that slider down and in again, you get another strikeout.
Rodriguez holds the hands in tight by the right shoulder. He swings and misses here. Looked like he got him off speed with either the slider or the changeup.
The slider disappeared.
2 outs, bases empty. 2 strikeouts for Drew Smyly. Remember, Jim Leland wants to use him now as a 1-inning guy, so this is probably a 1-inning appearance for Drew Smyly. If this game goes extra innings, don't look for him to be necessarily on the mound in the 10th. There's a pitch in the dirt, and that's been his role lately. A lot of multiple inning appearances, but they really want to get him back to being that 1-inning guy because of the value that he has if you can use him on multiple days like he's doing right now. Used him to get the 1 out yesterday and again today. The 1-0 pitch, a strike on the outside corner. 9th inning brought to you by Comerica Bank, the leading bank for business. Learn more at Comerica.com/business.
Just made a very good call, the home plate umpire.
Pitch that was high and outside.
Excellent.
Should have been 2-0, and it's now 1-1. Now they'll wind up the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball softly fouled on the third base line. Jennings with a triple scored a run in the 3rd inning. Struck out his last 2 at-bats. Zobrist has 3 hits. He's waiting on deck. Home run from Luke Scott in the 8th inning. Tied this game at 3. 1 out away from going to extra innings. Extra innings have not been kind to the Tigers this year. The 1-2, that's low. Slider low and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, if I'm catching, I'm trying it again.
6-3 righty works from the full windup, first base side of the rubber. One cool cat on the mound. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with the fastball.
Beauty.
Drew Smiley comes in and strikes out the side.
Hello, baby.
We're heading to extra innings at Tropicana Field after 9. Tigers and Rays are tied 3-3 on the Detroit Tigers radio network. Field. Tigers 3, Rays 3. Miguel Cabrera leading off. First pitch from Fernando Rodney. Swing and a miss. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Cabrera chased a little out of the strike zone. Strike one.
Always like this. Love this type of matchup.
Power arm, power hitter. Cabrera 1 for 3 plus a walk in this game, has scored a run. 2-homer game last night. The strike one pitch. Swing and a tap foul. Oh, that fastball is good.
It sure is.
Man, the stuff just looks as good as we've seen from Fernando Rodney.
And, you know, he's a slinger. I mean, he, again, very simple the way he goes about throwing the ball, but then the arm is long, turns into a slinger, and it comes out of his hand quite well.
Fernando being extended into a second inning for just the 4th time this year. The 0-2 way out of the strike zone, and with Jake McGee, a lefty, warming in the bullpen, you would think that perhaps this is the only batter.
Yeah. There are a few words said from Fernando to Miguel. And, you know, Fernando really doesn't ever talk very much.
No, he doesn't. Each time that he's pitched an extra portion of an inning, he's given up runs. Here's the 1-2. Whoa, high and tight. 98-mile-an-hour fastball had Cabrera spinning out of that right-handed batter's box. For the 4th time tonight we've seen a pitch high and tight on a Tigers batter.
And nobody for the Rays has had to do much of that.
2-2 on Cabrera. Took a little walk before he digs back in that right-handed batter's box.
Tomorrow sometime somebody's got to dance with the Rays. Tomorrow's the last chance. You don't want to do it now.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a changeup. Second strikeout for Rodney.
Well, they just disappeared. Strike out the big man like that. That's special stuff.
That brings up Prince Fielder.
Staying with Fernando.
It's interesting. Every time he's been asked to pitch more than an inning, he's had a tough time. He's walked batters. He's given up 5 runs in a total of 5 2/3 innings, 4 2/3 innings. This is the 4th time he's been asked to pitch an extra inning. See if the Tigers can keep that streak of allowing runs each time alive. Here's the 1-0. Check swing. Did he go? Field to third. Brian Knight says he did not.
Boy, Miguel is giving it to somebody in the dugout. I don't think it's that Fernando, but somebody's in the Ray dugout. And boy, he's giving the bad peeps to all of them. I'd look the other way.
Fielder's 0 for 3 plus a walk. The 2-0 pitch, swinging a foul over the screen. 96 to 98-mile-an-hour fastball consistently from Fernando Rodney. So what do you think that would be about, Jim? We see a look on our monitor. He was very vocal as he went into the Tigers' dugout.
Somebody in their dugout is giving some bad words to the big man.
Here's the 2-1. Strike.
Wow.
On the outside corner.
Apparently close enough.
Little shake of the head as Fielder steps out.
You know, maybe something like this will help the ball club. The ball club has been, that spark. Maybe a little extra spark here.
If you're Joe Madden, you're not thrilled with whoever that is in your dugout. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a soft ground ball on one hop to first base. Loney to his right field. Turns and flips Max to Rodney for the out at first. 2 down in the 10th inning in a 3-3 game.
Put that bat in the kindling wood section.
Extra innings brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. 3-3, 2 outs, base is empty. And that leaves it up to Victor Martinez. Got a couple of hits in this game. Line drive single his last time up. Those are the kinds of swings you look for from Victor.
That's right. The gap power. I'd love to see fence, over the fence power, but really good with the gap power when he's right.
6 home runs this year, all as a left-handed batter. Taking his time as he digs in. Fernando will take some time on the mound as well. The first pitch to Victor, swinging a ground ball through the box into center field. The base hit. Solid single off the fastball. Extends the inning for Johnny Peralta.
I mean, that's the thing about Fernando, and I don't mean that it's easy, but you can guess. You got 50-50 chance of guessing on the right pitch. Doesn't mean you're going to hit it. But I would say if you guess fastball, don't swing at anything else until you get the fastball. You get 2 strikes on you. I know it's harder than just talking about it. Believe me.
Peralta 1 for 4, 2-run single, capped a 3-run third inning. The first pitch here, swing and a tap foul on the turf behind home plate on the changeup. Rays chipped away. The Tigers had the 3-0 lead. Single runs in the 3rd, 5th, and 8th innings for the Rays. And now we're in extra innings tied at 3. Justin Verlander goes 8 innings for the first time this year. The strike 1, swing and a miss, make it strike 2. His final line, he goes 8 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned runs on 9 hits, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Brought to you by Auto Value Parts Stores, where you can pick up Total Performance Engine Oils. Lot to like, really, about his 8-inning start.
Yeah, the fans are going to say, well, he only struck out 4 and all that. But no, there is a lot to like, and he can build on that.
Time called at home plate.
And, you saw Justin after the game. I mean, he was really, he knows how good he should be and he can be. And he's trying everything he can think of to get back to where he was as a dominant pitcher.
Most consistent fastball velocity we've seen this year. Here's the 0-2. That bounced in front of home plate, blocked by Molina. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 3-3, 10th inning, Tigers and Rays. Turn around and play again tomorrow afternoon to wrap up the season series. Porcello against Hellickson, a 140 start. We're on the air at 115.
Yikes.
Not sure where they came up with that time.
I'm not either. Must have threw it at a little dart, but hey, picking time.
Here's the 1-2. Swinging a ground ball to third base. Scooped up by Roberts. A little double hits, but a flip down to second easily to get Martinez. Single and no more against Fernando Rodney in the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning, still tied at 3. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. 10th inning, 3-3 tie, Tigers and Rays. Welcome back, Bruce Rondon.
Pitching change brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Visit Briarwood Ford in Saline. Think Ford first. Only before he was sent back down, only 2 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, couple walks, 1 strikeout. But at Toledo, 29 2/3 innings, only 14 hits, 5 earned runs.
Swinging a fly ball center field on the first pitch off the bat of Zobrist. Lazy fly ball to Jackson. 1 pitch, 1 out, bottom of the 10th.
13 walks and 29 2/3. That's high. But 40 strikeouts, that's strong. 1 home run. One young man that was christened the closer in spring training. Didn't work out. Feel for pitching, not real good, and got all the chances in the world in the spring. He was a lot of ups and downs there, but it is a golden arm with power and the slider and the changeup in his arsenal. 100 miles an hour, 101, whatever, but you need some command and you need some action at the plate with your stuff.
James Loney batting. The first pitch from Rondon, fastball up and in, buzzes him at triple digits, 100 miles an hour, gets a reaction from the crowd here at Tropicana Field. The Tigers wanted him to work on a couple of things specifically when he went down to Toledo, because what really stood out, guys like Aaron Hicks of the Twins hitting 140 were turning his fastball around and pulling it and hitting it hard somewhere. in his brief time in the major leagues. We saw that in the spring. The strike one pitch, ground ball up the middle and passed Infante into center field. Loney turns around the fastball and hits it into center field. They believed a slight change in his mechanics hid the ball a little bit better down at Toledo. And then the other portion, they said the slider was a whole lot better because it was a very inconsistent pitch. We saw all the spring training appearances by Bruce Rondon, and the slider just was at times very good, but it was very inconsistent.
Yeah, he tried to throw it too hard, number one. And also, I thought in the spring, what I saw, he had better command, better movement on it when he threw the two-seamer instead of the four-seamer. And I thought from 95, I think to 97 with the two-seamer, and he could get swing and misses on that pitch. But not sure, what the thinking is as far as throwing the two-seamer here.
The other thing he had to do, simply had to do, was get quicker to home plate because runners were just taking off on him. We have a pinch runner at first in Sam Fuld, and there's a chance he'll be running on Bruce Rondon. And Rondon steps off. Will Myers at the plate.
Boy, Joe Madden uses his bench, doesn't he?
He does.
Who's
Fuld
left?
has 3 steals in 3 attempts.
Catcher left, the extra catcher.
First pitch to Will Myers. Fastball up and in, and Jimmy simply has to be able to throw that slider. Even though this is a tense, potential game-ending situation with every pitch, he has to be able to throw it in this situation.
Well, you got to use all your pitches. I mean, if you're throwing a four-seam fastball 100 miles an hour, okay, but are you locating it? Does it have the movement? The hitters are going to set on it.
Here's the 1-0, swinging a line drive, base hit into center. Off the fastball, Fuld will stop at second. And this is what we saw a lot of during the spring and in his brief appearances with the Tigers. Teams were hitting his fastball.
That was straight as a string. I've said many times, you make the big league, number one, being able to hit the fastball. If the fastball has some movement at 98, 99, that's different. But that's a straight fastball. That doesn't work.
Jeff Jones on his way to the mound to talk things over with Rondon. It's been all fastballs so far, several at triple digits, but again, Loney hit the 100-mile-an-hour fastball into center on the ground for a single, and Myers just ripped a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, a line drive to center field.
The only good thing about Myers hit was right at Austin Jackson.
Verlander started, went 8. Smiley struck out the side in the 9th. Now Rondon here in the 10th inning. Extra innings have not been kind to the Tigers. 2 and 8 in extra innings this year for the Tigers. The Rays are 2 and 5.
Nobody throwing in the pen. I mean, this is it right here.
Luke Scott at the plate, and he takes a fastball outside, ball 1. And obviously now, Jim, becomes much tougher to throw the slider.
Well,
with a lefty at the plate.
And just one out. I understand that. Yeah, it's put yourself in a bad position.
Scott waiting on the 1-0. Pena setting up away. Fuld, the potential winning run at second. The pitch, swing and a miss.
Change up.
Change up at 92.
Yeah, I mean, did Scott hurt himself? Wow. That's a heck of a change up. Throw it again. What the heck?
Scott with a home run in the 8th inning to tie the game. Tigers in trouble here in the 10th inning with back-to-back singles with 1 out. 3-3 tie. Rondon sets, checks Fuld at second base. Peralta keeping an eye on him. The 1-1, swing and a miss. He did throw back-to-back changeups, and that's a first for us watching Bruce Rondon.
Throw it again. You throw it right there, and
how about
you'll
that,
get
Jim?
him. That had more movement than his fastball.
Changeup at 92. That is something.
That's good. I mean, that had some movement to it in a perfect spot. Do it again. You got one pitch to work with, just one.
Fold the runner at second. Myers at first. Fold is the only runner who matters. Rondon taking a long time. Scott waiting him out. Left-handed batter against the righty. 3-3 tie. The 1-2. Low and inside.
There's a slider.
Tried the slider and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, back to the changeup.
He just does not get many swings and misses off the fastball, which
right.
is surprising. Might he hear Jim after 3 straight off-speed pitches?
I think with this guy, it's possible because his bat is not as fast as it used to be.
Rondon sets. Scott waiting. Holds it the extra beat. The 2-2. Just outside. Man, at 100 miles an hour. Oh, is that close? It's 3-2. It was. Rondon walked about 4 batters per 9. 12 strikeouts per 9. He needs to find a way to throw a strike or something that looks like a strike to Scott.
Always look for the fastball, break adjustments, but I don't know what he's going to throw.
If I was guessing, I would say the fastball, but we'll see.
Scott waiting. 3-2, 2 on. Bottom of the 10th, the pitch. A swing and a foul out of play. Stayed with a triple-digit fastball. Scott fouled it out of play well back third base side.
You know, here we are, extra innings, and these guys have played a whole game, and you're facing a guy that throws that hard, even though, you know, we're talking about lack of movement, but still, the way the game has changed with these specialists that come in the game and make it tougher on the hitters.
Fly ball out to start the inning. 2 singles that put runners at first and second. Sam Fuld, the pinch runner, at second base. Rondon places that left foot in front of the right. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Went back to the changeup. And he strikes out Luke Scott. What a pitch.
And you know, the changeup has a little movement and in terrific spots. Every changeup he has thrown have been in outstanding location.
Jim, I don't remember him having that. Well, no. I know he has it, but we didn't see it much this spring.
No, we didn't. No, sir. You know, in the spring he was pressing. Every time he went out, he was trying too hard.
Yunel Escobar now batting, right-handed batter, 1 for 3. Soft single his first time up, a walk. Hop out and a ground out for Escobar. 3 runs, 11 hits for the Rays. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Tigers. The first pitch to Escobar bounces in the dirt, picked up by Pena. He's got no play. Runners advance to second and third. And you would think now that just about eliminates the chance he'll throw another slider.
Well, it's you're probably right. The fastball and changeup. Not much the catcher can do with that pitch as hard as he throws. I mean, you're lucky he did go further than that after it bounced.
The 1-0, the count on Escobar, winning run 90 feet away. The 1-0. Fastball buzzes him in off the plate. 2-0 on Escobar. Jose Molina is waiting on deck. Sam Fuld, the pinch runner, represents the winning run. He's at third with 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th inning in a 3-3 game. The 2-0. Swinging a little fly ball, center field. This one's deep, going back. Jackson over his head. All the way to the wall and straightaway center, Yunel Escobar. Singles over the head of Austin Jackson, and the Rays win it in a walk-off in the bottom of the 10th.
Well, he gets right. He got the fastball. It was a shot.
Smoked it over the head of Austin Jackson, and the Tigers again lose in extra innings on the road. The final score at Tropicana Field, the Rays 4 and the Tigers 3. 5th time this year the Tigers watch a team with a walk-off win. Walk-off a winner in extra innings. We've also seen it in 9 innings on the road as well this year. It's been tough for the Tigers in extra innings. Stat of the game brought to you by Dunham Sports. Get in the game at Dunham's. Well, Jim, I'm going to pick the number 9 because in 11 extra inning games this year, the Tigers are 2-9 now in extra innings. A reflection of Well, some of the relief problems that we've seen, but also the fact that the Tigers have only scored 5 runs in extra innings this year, and both of those times they scored in the 14th inning. So in the other 9 losses, they've not been able to score a run in whatever inning it was, either innings 10, 11, 12, or 13.
Well, that is disappointing because not only do they lose, but because this is supposed to be a really good hitting ball club. And now, of late, they have not beat up on mediocre pitching. You know, when you get deeper into the ball game, good teams normally get better. Big guys step up. You just don't see it in the extra inning ball games. And so that's really disappointing for the caliber of player that the Tigers have in that lineup. It makes no sense, and it's very surprising that they're that bad in extra inning ball games. Just disappointing.
Player of the game brought to you by U.S. Park, $8 a day, every day at U.S. Park. Justin Verlander, I thought, was very good. And, Jim, I think deserves player of the game. 8 innings for the first time this year. Only 2 earned runs. It was 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. But I thought there were some real pluses, mostly with the fastball velocity that was consistent, innings 1 through 8. A better curveball tonight, and it just started to look like the old Justin Verlander.
Well, a lot of the fans are going to say, because I said this before, well, 4 strikeouts, what do you mean he was really good? Well, from what we've seen, and Justin has worked hard to get back to where he was, and, with the mechanics change and so forth, and I agree with you. I mean, the fastball was sensational tonight, being able to go up the ladder, come down the ladder, and also have the feel for pitching. He did walk 4, which is disappointing, but it's a step in the right direction with the fastball, able to take it up. He went from, 90 to 98 today,
yep,
or tonight, in different periods of time, but in different innings, not just all in one inning. So he used it almost all through the whole ball game. He had to go up early, and he also had to go up in the middle and in late also. So he's worked hard to get back to where he thinks he should be and all the fans think he should be, and we think he can be.
Hot Hands Play the Game brought to you by Lucido Fine Jewelers from Metro Detroit's most beautiful engagement rings. Jim, I'm going to pick the game-ending hit because, again, and we're not picking on Bruce Rondon, but we're still looking for Bruce Rondon with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to be able to dominate hitters with it, and all 3 hits in the 9th inning in this game were off the fastball.
Well, I'm a great believer
10th inning of this game.
I'm a great believer in movement on your pitches. And on the fastball, it's straight. And the changeup, as I said, had more movement than the fastball. And, you're gear up to hit a fastball, and you have good hitters. I mean, this isn't a really good hitting ball club, but that just shows you what a big leaguer can do with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball if it's not in the right location or doesn't have that late movement that I talk about so much. So, and I said earlier, the two-seamer that we saw in spring training had movement, and he had better success with that than the 100-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. They need to turn that gun off and just get this young man back to being a pitcher and not worried about how hard he throws, thinking about movement and thinking about hitting his spots and not just a thrower, because it's a golden arm, but tonight was a perfect example of what the problems are with Rondon.
Tigers lose this one by the final of 4-3 in extra innings. Again, fall to 2-9 in extra innings this year.
Wow. Man.
Now Tigers still the chance for the series win, but the series all even at a game apiece after the Rays' 4-3 win in 10 innings tonight. Stay with us. More postgame after